Hello and welcome to episode 108 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, the one, the only, Mr. Pert Jerkum.
My name is Devolving.
Oh yeah, it's gonna just like, eventually it'll just be like, and joining me tonight, Casey Gibson.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'll take all the credit for the podcast.
I'm your host, Casey Gibson, and joining me tonight is Cassie Gibbons.
Yeah.
How's it going, Casey?
I am good. How are you, Jerkum?
I'm doing great, man. I got, you know what I'm drinking tonight is a sparkling ice. Have you ever had those before? Like those tall, bottles, and they're like zero sugar things.
Sounds like a real gym kind of drink.
Black. No, it's delicious. Black cherry. Oh, dude, I love.
I do like the black cherry flavored, so I probably would enjoy it. But
oh no, you'd enjoy it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep. Now you hate it.
Now, yeah.
I'm dumping it down the drain.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, it's funny. We've got another hurricane rolling in. But I think this one should only be a tropical storm by the time it gets here. But I tell you what, I am praying that I don't have to go to work on Thursday.
No, because then that's another day off of your schedule, right?
Yeah, I mean my day
That sucks. Don't you want to take a vacation?
Well, I'm not taking any vacations the rest of this year. I mean, they're like, you know what I mean? It's a moot point at that. Like, when it rolls after, like, into January, it'll refresh. So then I'll be good to be able to take vacations. But, like, the rest of the year now, it's like, it really doesn't matter, you know?
Oh.
I mean, like, it'll be, like, I think I have 2 days left. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So, and,
gotcha.
And I'm still new
I
here
didn't
at
realize
this
the
branch.
whole rollover thing.
Yeah, so, no, in, like, January, it reloads, so... So, pretty much,
Well, then,
I don't want to go to work on Thursday, and I'd love a good excuse to stay home and play games.
Video games.
Some vidges.
Maybe you can finally play through Dragon Quest 8.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, one of
I
these
don't know.
days...
You could do that. It'd be a good Thirsty Mage. Which, by the way, we could talk about the new season of the Thirsty Mage is upon us.
Yes, and David went above and beyond, and he did like a whole... Instead of... Usually it's like one game, you know, that you sort of hone in on, that each play and sort of talk about. But this time he sort of did like a entire overlook of the Final Fantasy franchise. So you've got 1 through 15, and I jump in there for a discussion of 7, and, you know, some intros and outros. And then he's got, you know, Johnny Metz, Jordan, a bunch of people jump in for different segments to talk about different games. So
yeah,
I think he said it's 4.5 hours long is the kickoff. So they're doing it right.
Insane.
Doing it right. And I believe Jordan is going to be joining the Thirsty Mage full time now. So I know there is a Dark Souls episode planned for November, Diablo planned for December, and then I think maybe a Super Mario episode or Super Mario RPG for October sometime. But that I think is still in discussions.
Yeah, hopefully I can be on one of those.
Yeah, make your debut.
He doesn't invite me.
It's because you don't play RPGs.
Yes, I do.
Like what?
I've played RPGs before. Mario and Luigi, Paper Mario, Pokemon, Earthbound.
I was gonna say those
Where's
are all
our
games he
Earthbound
doesn't play.
episode? Well, yeah, well, that's not my fault.
That would be a good one. I feel like every good self-respecting RPG podcast has to have some sort of Earthbound episode.
Yeah, Earthbound Beginnings, that'd be amazing.
Well, I don't know about Beginnings.
Dude, Beginnings is awesome. That's a legendary game.
Whew, that's some high praise.
Dude, yeah, man. It's awesome. But anyway, so if anyone doesn't know, The Thirsty Mage is another podcast on NWR that focuses on RPGs. So yeah, congrats to them. And their snazzy new tune from some incredibly handsome man that composed that one.
I was going to say, if there's one part you're going to want to skip over on any given Mage episode, it's that intro and outro
that
song.
nasty intro.
Woof.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I kid.
I know you do.
They got a Hollywood producer to come in and do it. It's pretty high budget or high production value. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know how he afforded it. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah. Pro bono.
Crazy. It must have been, because otherwise, yeah.
He ain't got pockets deep enough.
Yeah. Anywho, we have quite the show planned for today. We have an interview with with two different games. So the first being Miles and Kilo and Kid Trip, publisher and developer / publisher /
does it all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he ported it and published it for Switch and stuff. But he's been on the show, Mick Waits. So that'll be coming up, and then we're gonna record. That's not all, because we remember Party Golf. Ian Lewis from Giant Margarita is going to be on to talk about the pseudo sequel. That's what I'm calling it. That's probably not what they call it, which is Party Crashers, which is going to be a lot of fun to talk about. So we have 2 interviews on this dang show. So maybe we'll top the Thirsty Mage for hour count.
Well, yeah, I was going to say we better get underway, otherwise we might actually.
Yeah, I know. That's it.
I was going to say, before we get into the true what we've been playing, I think we both have one little quick bite to chomp on into. And that is some Mario Party Online. I know Perry
Super Mario
really
Party
loves when I call it Mariothon.
No, I do. I really do, because then I can comment and call you stupid. I love when you give me reasons to call you stupid.
Yep.
And it's very often. I tell you what.
I'll tell you what, Bobby. But yes, we jumped in, like we said last week, the online mode didn't go live until launch, so I couldn't get a little hands-on time before the review came out, or when the review came out. Mm-hmm. But so pretty much you get in there, and it is very limited, but it works well. So there are 10 games total, which is pretty lame. I wish, like, out of the 80 plus, like, if it was like half, or even 20, I feel like would have been a better number. But anyway, 10 available on 3 different cups. So if you're playing with random people, the active cup is rotating. So essentially you have 5 games. I don't know how long each cup's active for, if it's like an hour or 2 hours, and it rotates. If you are playing with friends, you can pick any of the 3 cups.
Okay, so the cup rotates.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're playing with friends, you can pick any of the cups, and you can even make a custom cup, I guess, of your liking. But again, it's just still limited to the 10 games.
Yep.
Another annoying thing is you can't join with a person locally. So, like, we all tried, like, you, me, Kate, and Jill tried to play, and we were figuring we'd each jump in and be great. It'd be actually perfect. But no. You can only join one person online, so we had to, switch turns, which...
switch, yeah.
Yeah. So pretty dumb on that front. But as far as the actual games, they work really well. Like, when we were playing, there was no lag. And
it was fantastic, yeah.
And they got the cool little scoring wrinkle. Why don't you tell the fine folks about that?
Yeah, I love it. I love how these games... So it's like, each cup is 5 games. And each of the 5 games are games that can be... like played with everyone where you go until you're done. So you go as fast as you can, or as far as you can, until you're knocked down. Like, for instance, like the charge and chuck game. Excuse me. Where you're just avoiding all these charging chucks, and you can go as long as you can. You can be on the board and just go as long as you can. There's probably a limit somehow. Like,
I think they probably have like a hard...
They cut it off at like 2 minutes or something.
I don't think they would cut it off. I bet you it just gets impossible. Like, literally,
I don't know, because... Yeah, I don't know.
Because I could see it where it's like, 4 chucks are coming in a row in one lane, and if you were to somehow dodge that, like, now there's 4 chucks coming the other way, and there's just, like, no humanly way to get to that other side,
Right. Yeah, I'm sure. But, so... Okay, so let's say we're playing, and boom, I only last for 15 seconds, and then you go, and you last for 30 seconds.
Well, Sounds about right.
Well, then I get let's say, I don't know, I get 250 points. You get 500 points. So you'd be way ahead of me by by 250 points. But I can always come back at you the next game to try to get more. And that happened all the time. There was there were upsets. I mean, there was not upsets, comebacks, I guess.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, so there's 5 games. I mean, you could theoretically have Perry win 4 out of the 5 games, but every game he wins by just a titch, like whether it be you lasted 1 second longer, or like the candy jar where you shake the candy out, you beat me by a second. But then that final game, I win and I go on to beat you by 35 seconds. Likely I would end up winning that game, just because the point differential. So it's not necessarily always who's first.
Right.
Jill did that the one time. She was pretty far behind, but then she crushed that one mini game. Where you fly the planes and avoid the little fuzzies. She crushed it. Everyone got 20 seconds, and she went a minute 20.
60
it was ridiculous.
Seconds. It was crazy. So and then she came back. So it's like you never feel, it's just kind of funny with Mario Party, which I guess is kind of a thing where it's like if you're behind, you always usually have a chance to come back. I think Super Mario Party is actually incredibly well balanced with stuff like that. But just for instance, I haven't lost a game of Super Mario Party yet. Everyone I've
real
played,
balanced.
So skilled. I just mean, I think I have the skills to pay the bills. Really, is what I'm trying to say. No. But with these games, you always feel like, there's a chance if I just do as good as I can come back on these games. And I really like that. But we are, of course, I mean, there are people right now, you guys are just being Nintendo fanboy, optimistic, it's crappy. And the online is not crappy. It's very well implemented online. Like I said, no lag and stuff, but it's about 15 minutes of content. I mean, 20 minutes of content.
You could really only play in spurts because, you said, you could play 1 cup each, the 3 cups, and maybe you do 1 more, and then it's we just played these games a bunch, let's stop. And you know what? If you come back in a week, you're still going to have fun with that. But again, it's just very, very small bits.
And you know what? There's really, this is what they do a pretty fun job of enticing you to play more, which is really funny. If you play random, then you actually at the end there's tickable you can get gold and silver and bronze medals, and after you're playing, you actually unlock stickers and stuff, and you can see you progressing through a level, not a level, a system. You can see on the bottom, and so you play one game. And then if you play the second game, then you'll see you're gonna unlock a present. It's I gotta see what that's gonna. So then I did it, and I unlocked some stickers that you can unlock over 100 stickers and play with those. And then they also had this on Triforce Heroes when you have that screen of all the triangles that we filled out.
Oh, I sure
do. It was the most satisfying thing in the world. They have kind of that thing with Mario Party it's like a big list of medals you can fill in of winning, and it's I really want to fill out that list of medals. And I can't explain why, but I really want to. So they kind of have a fun idea, and it's makes me really hope. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm not but I'm hoping that it is gonna happen. That they're gonna update this with more games. That could happen. That could happen.
I mean, it certainly could.
It could,
but
happen.
I would certainly not expect it.
Well, they're seeing. I think if it sees
people,
a lot of sales, which I think it has sold a lot, I think that they might go, we should add some more content to this game, and we should support it. So we're going to release more boards. That'll be paid DLC, but then we'll also update the online.
See, I'm curious. Yeah, I guess
I'm just saying it's
on
possible.
Sales, but
I mean, looking at Aces, they've updated Aces, and they're going to continually update it. So
yeah, I guess so.
And then I thought about it today, and this is going to sound really funny, but with our sessions I played with Alex, Mr. Panda, last night, for an hour.
Oh, what am I, chop liver? I was playing with you guys.
Well, I know, but we played. I mean, after you left, and then I played with Jules today for an hour. And it's like, I think I've played this more than Mario Tennis Aces. The online.
Jimmy.
Than like online in tennis. It's just funny. Although, hey, we did get to play some tennis the other night, and that was a lot of fun. I played a lot of tennis.
Yeah, tennis is great.
Yeah. But anyway, my point being that, yes, it's super shallow, but it's really fun. But it's shallow, you know? So there's no way getting around it. It's disappointing in some respects, but I still have fun. I'm looking at it as a fun bonus to it, and I can finally get to play some mini Mario Party mini games with my friends online, which is fun. And I've gotten use of it.
And hopefully it's the start. Like, you know what I mean? Hopefully it's the start for something bigger, you know? Like, okay, we get some... We get the full board next time, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the... If that doesn't happen, I'll be very disappointed, to be honest. Like, that would be disappointing. Now, I can report finally on... I tried the voice chat app with Jules.
Oh, how was it?
You know why? It was fantastic. So you're on the screen to play. You know, you can play in the lobby for the online mode. And it says press in SL and SR for voice chat. I was like, what the heck does that mean? You know, like I know it's not going through the system. So what's it going to do? You know, and I pressed that in, and instantly on my phone, a notification pops up. And then it's like, boom, you want to start, like you can start voice chat. You just swipe, like, you know, I just swiped on my phone to open it up. And it was instantly there, and I was talking to Jules. It was like, what? It was so cool. And it notified him that I was using it. So on his Switch.
Oh,
Isn't that cool? So yeah, it's like very smartly implemented.
So
like,
Terrence was right.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it was just like you literally activated it on your Switch, because I was like, what do you have to do? Like go there and then like check on your phone and then log in and something. But it is like you just press it on your Switch and it pops up on your phone without you doing anything, and you touch a button and then you're there. So it's easy to use. I was very surprised by it, very surprised, and the quality sounded fantastic because it was going off your phone. It sounded really, really good. So
boom.
So yeah, we can finally talk about that, which we haven't, which is really funny.
Yeah,
we should try that with the NES games, though. I want to see how that works. So.
Well, we do need to put. We're gonna get some new NES games that are worth trying in a couple days. Actually,
Super
tomorrow,
Dodgeball?
I think.
Super Dodgeball? Heck yeah!
I think actually technically tomorrow. So.
Boosh. Is that tomorrow real time or tomorrow
real time?
Published time.
Real time.
Oh, cool, dude. Let's do a challenge.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
We gotta play for our NES league, our ice hockey league.
Yeah,
right?
I pulled up the W over JP in an epic comeback. Let me tell you, I was down like 2 goals, and I got in 2 fights, and I was down 2 men. So he had the full gamut of 4. I only had 2 skaters.
Wait,
Third
what?
period.
You can lose skaters?
Yeah, if you like try and steal the puck from the person, but like repetitively do that, they get into like a little tussle.
Are you serious?
And then the ref comes over and he sends someone to the box. So
my goodness.
So I was down 2 men, and I pulled it back, and I scored like 4 goals unanswered to get the W.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I was very surprised. I was like, oh man, I didn't realize this game was that deep.
Yeah, seriously, what an incredible game. Anywho, yeah, that's Super Mario Party Online.
That was heck of a quick bite.
Yeah, that was a heck of a. That was like
that was a
just go to a
Thanksgiving
place.
dinner.
That was like when you go to place when they're having half off appetizers and you just order that for your meal.
That was like going to Bojangles this weekend.
Yeah, there you go, Bojangles.
Let me tell you, these biscuits were unbelievable.
Dude, biscuits are my favorite things.
But here's the problem.
What's the
problem? It took forever.
Yeah.
But it was still delish. I did not regret it.
Yeah. Remember that Mexican restaurant we ate at?
Oh, that was really good, but
that
took
place
really
took
long
forever.
too.
Yeah.
Well, that was weird because it was the same restaurant we'd gone to like every year before that, but it was at a completely different locale.
Yep. They didn't have that location anymore.
Yeah, they closed up shop.
That was so weird.
I tell you what, where they were, the new spot is probably better for business. Like I feel like that was a more dense populated area.
You know what, Casey? We should start talking about something else.
Yeah. Like,
talking
how
about the business
Giana
location
Sisters?
of restaurants in Boston. Yes, exactly. I have been playing Giana Sisters Twisted Dreams Owltimate Edition.
That's a mouthful.
Yep, and every person that I know calls it Giana Sisters.
No, it's
but
Gianna.
I've always heard Gianna.
Yeah, I'm a Gianna man.
Yep, me too.
I'm a Gianna man.
Now, do you know the history of this series at all?
It's like, enlighten me.
Okay, I don't really know it like too well, but it's
I
like
was hoping you'd
it
tell
came
me.
out a long time ago, like in the 80s, and it was basically ultra similar to Super Mario Brothers. Get it? Giana Sisters, Super Mario Brothers.
I see what you're laying down, or what they're laying down.
You slurping up what I'm spitting out?
You're disgusting.
Now, so I believe that I think there's urban legends of like lawsuits or threatens or something because of how, or maybe that was actually real, or I don't really know, something like that. But
the old threatens, eh?
the idea is it was, and I think it was it wasn't on NES, it was on something, it was on like one of those weird computer systems. But anywho, then they have a Giana Sisters game for the DS, and I'm sure they have others too, but those are the only ones I know of. And then back in like 2012 or 13, they kickstarted this game, and this game came out on Wii U, physically actually on Wii U, which is
That's
crazy,
so ahead of their
so
time.
weird, and it actually came out physically on Switch too, which is cool. I didn't even know that until Jules posted it.
Surprised you don't have it.
I was like, what? Yeah, well, I have it digitally, so.
Well, yeah, but that normally doesn't stop you from the old Dublin dipping.
You know what? I haven't double dipped
You're a dirty dipper.
on really anything besides Slime Son and Mutant Mud.
Did you get your slime son yet?
I got my regular dish.
You bought the irregular and the collectors?
I sure did, you big gym bot.
Well, calling me the gym bot. No.
Yeah. You didn't?
No, I just got the regs.
Now I can display the regular cover and the alternate cover. See.
The only thing is, it's going to be going to my parents' house, so then it's going to take a little bit of time from that point to get to me. So.
Why is it going to your parents' house?
Because that's when I bought it. I was still living there. Well, I wasn't still in there. Yeah, I looked online and it was like I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, you know what, whatever.
Just email them. No, email them, dude. They'll help you out.
I was gonna say, I mean, it's like I already have the game, so it's like more so like if it's an extra week after it comes, I'm not too broken up over it.
Totally. But anyway, what was I talking about? Giana Sisters. That's right.
No, we were
so
talking
this game
about
was Kickstarted,
the geographical location.
Yeah. And this game, it's a very standard, really just like totally. It reminds me of like a GameCube era, with like its production, and I mean that in a good way. Platformer, side-scrolling platformer. The main hook is you can switch between the sisters. They're not traveling with each other like Donkey Kong, like the original Donkey Kong trilogy. But you hit ZR and it switches to the other. There's like the dark one and the light one, basically. One of them kind of changes. It changes it from like a dream to like a nightmare. I mean, that's kind of like the gist of it, right? Like, and there's like the enemies turn from like these fat owl things, which I guess is why it's called Owltimate Edition. I haven't gotten to why the owls are part of anything yet.
Yeah.
But there's just the fat little owls that walk around and they're flying, and when you jump on them, it's so funny. They just fall on their back and just like die, and then they stay there. And so their feet are just hanging up in the air, and they just fall over. Like you jump on them, they just fall on their back, and then they're just laying there. It's so funny. It's way funnier than how I'm describing, because it was just like, what? And then like I'm just like sitting there waiting for them to get up again. They don't. And once you exit the screen and you go back, then they're gone. But you just jump on them, and then it's hilarious. But then like when you flip to the the nightmare world. Then suddenly they're like these like demonic little guys like with wings. I mean, like they're like gargoyle-y type little guys. I don't know what you call them. It's just, and everything kind of changes. And some things are like kind of like weirdly creepy. Like if you're swimming in the water and there's like coral reefs, well, like when you switch it to the nightmare, like those coral reefs become like hands like sticking out of the ground, and it's kind of creepy. Weirdly creepy. I was like, oh, okay. But it's kind of cool because each character has their own ability. One of them can do like a spin attack that then you can float. It's like a double jump that's a spin, and then you can float like Tanuki
Is it like
Leaf
Dixie
style.
Kong?
Yes, just like that.
The old
Very
helicopter.
Good. Yeah, I mean it's not exactly, but it's very similar to that. And then the other one has a dash move that you can just dash in any direction, and then like a straightforward, just like a dash. I don't know if there's any other easier way to say it. So like going like, and it's really cool because it has this mechanic to where when you dash like in an enclosed tunnel, it'll ricochet off the wall infinitely until you land out. So you'll go and you'll go like in between like and taking out all these enemies inside the tunnel, and then you'll land on the other side. And it's just a really fun idea. So like you can bounce off walls with it. And then on top of that, there's tons and like over like 500, 600, 700 gems to collect in each level. Very big emphasis on collection. I mean, you'll have yellow and blue and red gems. And like, for instance, the light sister can get the yellow ones. The dark sister can get the red ones. And then they can both get the blue ones. So you'll need to change in between to swap them. It's not a big deal to change. I mean, it's a tap of a button.
Yeah, on the fly.
Like, and they use them, and then they use the gems to teach you about the game's deeper mechanics. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, if you do jump in the air with the glide, with the Dixie Kong-like character, and you glide, then if you hold that button and then switch, you can switch to the other sister and keep gliding, and then switch back. Ooh. So it'll kind of show you that, like it'll show you kind of some nuances and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. And then, it's fun. I mean, and this is the thing. Like I said, there's hundreds. These levels are huge. I mean, they're big levels. And they're tough. And it's like, I mean, they can get into like where it has a death counter, and once you die, you just go back to a checkpoint pretty close by. Sometimes they can be pretty tough, but I mean, it's a hard game. And interestingly enough, I believe that there's like a hard and like an easy mode, and the hard is the regular mode. Like it tells you that. I think that's the original mode was hard, and then it switches over, and then they made an easier mode for people. Now, I mean, like I'm playing the hard mode, and it's not like that hard. So I think that if you're
not a baby,
if you're not a baby, you should play the hard mode. And if you don't, you should be ashamed. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm absolutely kidding, everyone. But it's fun. I mean, on top of everything, like I said, the aesthetic is mixed, matched, and just kind of weird. Like, just kind of weird. I can't explain it. But it's like, it just reminds me of a GameCube game, so I like it. It
GameCube games are good.
Heck yeah. So, but it does look good. Some of the lighting effects, like when you're changing, kind of look off. And it's like, man, I wish I could just play this in the dream mode because everything is really pretty. And I don't like those scary hands. Just kidding.
No, you're not.
No, actually, I'm not. Those are pretty creepy. But yeah, it's a fun game. It's a huge game. Tons of levels. This Owltimate edition has all of the DLC in it. Owltimate, yeah. And like I said, it's a great game. I mean, I think it has a pretty steep price too. I think it's $30 or $40. So I mean, but it has like a ton of content, so makes sense. And it's a lot of fun, and you can spend a lot of time collecting stuff, collecting the gems in each level. So yeah, I give it a good recommendation if you're in for a hearty platformer. I mean, because there's a lot of light platformers, on the Switch. This is a pretty hearty one. So
nice and hearty, as they say. Unlike the news block this year.
Unlike the news block this week.
Or this year. Yeah, Jesus.
This year's been a pretty crazy news block.
Year?
Yep. But I hear that you've been playing a game that you didn't really like that much, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm giving it a second whirl here.
And what's that?
That is Xenoblade 2, Torna, the Golden Country Torna, something like that. Yeah, I think it's the Golden Country, then it's like Torna. But now I'm curious.
Who cares? I guess,
or is it Torna? Yeah, it's Torna - the Golden Country. Okay, yeah, so
there you go.
Obviously, this is not a game I did not like very much. But this was a game I started a couple weeks ago when it came out, but then Review City hit, and I had to sort of put it to the back burner. But I am happy to be rejoining it and getting back into the weeds here, because this game is, so far, very, very enjoyable. I mean, it's great because it's, you're back into Xenoblade. You're back in Allrest, excuse me. Owlrest? And
Owlrest edition.
Torna the Owlrest. And yeah, it's just, I mean, I love the world. It looks so beautiful. You're on these big titans that are moving around, but they're also filled with creatures and life, and it's just, and seeing familiar characters. And what's really cool is you're seeing these familiar characters in like totally different points of their lives. So it's like you're seeing Mithra, obviously way before Rex and the gang, and just to see sort of, she's like, I guess Mithra's always sort of been rough around the edges.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but she's like even more rough around the edges, and it's sort of funny. Because, like, her driver, Adam, who is, he is talked about in the original game, because he was the previous, driver of the Aegis, which is Mithra. And, it's cool to, like, finally see him and see what kind of person he is. And it's just, like, he's a super good dude, like, he's just always out to help people. And it's just a cool dynamic to see these characters, like I said. You're seeing, characters that are full grown in the story, the original. Now you're seeing them as a child, as just a little kid joining, like, with the group, and how they sort of came to be with those people. So, so far it's pretty interesting. I think, we're sort of tracking down Malos and seeing why he's doing what he's doing. But we're also sort of getting tidbits about information like you learned about in the other game, and like, in the other game, it's just sort of like, oh, that's a thing, like, and now you're sort of seeing how that thing came to be. I don't want to go into too many spoilers or anything. But yeah, I mean, so far so good on the story front.
Yeah,
and they actually changed up the battle system quite a bit. So I mean, it's
really
it's the same, but it's different. It's got a lot of the same mechanics as far as like the combos and like. Chaining different powerful attacks together, but in the I was gonna say the old game. In the base game, we'll go with that. Like, you'll have Rex, and he has 3 blades that he can have active at one time, and you switch between those blades. And Rex is always sort of attacking, and then he's getting like support from the blades. But in this game, you actually switch between the blades and the drivers. So. I like right now I have 2. I don't know if it'll get to a 3rd blade with the driver. I don't think so, because I believe it's just going to be the 3 characters, and they just sort of jump back and forth. So your driver was always like, I'm attacking, doing the, getting in there, getting dirty while getting the support. But now you can switch, so you'll actually be controlling a blade, going around and using their arts on the enemy. And it's cool because that adds another dynamic in the sense that you would get WP. They're just essentially experience points to spend on your upgrading your arts, and you would use those. But now you use them on your arts, but you also have, like, when you're in the back, your support arts. You know what I mean? So there's just a bunch. There's like another wrinkle. A lot of it still feels familiar, you know, because a lot of it is very similar, but it's different enough that it's a nice sort of refreshing jump into it. So it's not literally just like, hey, here's more, you know, of this game with story. It's like, hey, we're going to, you know, shake things up a little bit too.
Yeah.
So it's, and like I said, I didn't really do too much research into like changes and stuff or what would be different. So it was a nice surprise to get in there and be like, okay, they rehauled the battle system up here a little bit. Like I said, a lot of it is very, very similar. But obviously they're not going to just get rid of everything from the original. But like I said, it shakes it up enough, but it's familiar enough that it feels really nice. You know, I'm just, so far, like I said, I'm enjoying it. It's just, the music is so good, and just wandering around in these big open areas, attacking enemies, and just seeing the sights, if you will. You know, it's really nice. And of course, they've got like the serious like story going on or whatever. You know, we're trying to get here, but like they have like the funny, you know, lighthearted moments and all that stuff. The chuckles, if you will, thrown in there too. So I'm really enjoying it. I think like if you were to jump in, having not played the base game, you probably could get through. I mean, like, you'll have to learn the battle system a little more where, like, it was familiar, having played the original. But, like, I think the story is enough, like, there are obviously nods to, like, oh, I've played this, I understand this, where these some things are coming from. But I think you could totally play this game without playing the original and probably still have a very nice time. I believe it's about 20 hours long, so it's like if you want the Xenoblade 2 experience without, you know, spending the 60 or 80 hours, however many hours the original game is. I forget how long I put into it, but you know, it's a nice. You could sort of get like it's like a slice of it, you know, but still a fulfilling slice.
Yeah, which sounds awesome to me, and I guess like. I feel like if I'm gonna be making an effort on this series, like, do you think it's worth it to play? So, would you recommend this over the original?
For you, I think I would, because like I said, it's a shorter bit. You know, you're still gonna like I said, some things might, you know, I'm trying to think if they've like brushed over something where like you would be able to be, oh, okay, I get that, but like not completely. But I mean, honestly, it's beforehand. So say you jumped in and you absolutely loved it, then you could just go play the original game and like it would feel like, I don't think it would feel like, oh my God, like what's going on here? You know, like it would still like boom, boom, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool actually. So yeah, if I ever get around to these games, which I might totally, I think I'll play this one.
Yeah. I mean,
because then it's like, boom, I had fun with that and I'm done.
Yeah,
or
it's definitely nicer.
I'm ready to bring on the next game.
Exactly, yeah. It's like an extended demo for the original game. Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, cool. I'm excited to continue plowing my way through. Like I said, the world is so awesome. The music's so like I was just wandering around and just listening to the music. I'm just like, oh man, it feels so good to get back into this game.
Awesome. Well, I have another game that I got from our eShop Roundup. It was my pick of the week last week.
eHaw!
And that game is Rise and Shine.
Oh, yes. Okay, the one with the really, really cool like background art.
Yeah. Yes, so this game is the one with the really cool, it looks like comic book background art, and it was like kind of looked like I said on the eShop, it like kind of reminded me of Metal Slug, you know, just like just how it looked and how the gameplay looked, but it's not very much like that at all. You're a character and you're this little kid named Rise for some reason. And you find a gun that is anthropomorphic named Shine. I don't...
Rise and shine and give God your glory, glory.
Yeah, there you go.
My mom used to sing that to me every morning.
That's great. Mine would always do... my dad would always sing...
Get up, Perry, you turd!
No, it was the good morning, It's great to stay up late. Good morning. It always made me so mad.
Yeah. Dang it, Dad! I'm trying to sleep.
That was his sense of humor. Like, get up, it's time for school. Aren't you happy? And it's like, no.
And he's like, I don't have to go to school.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Rise and Shine. Anthropomorphic gun. So there's a pretty heavy emphasis on story, and it's really wacky and really weird, and I just like you're starting the game, and you're in like this. It's like a mall or something. It's something like that. And there's chaos, like aliens invasion, like apocalyptic stuff is happening. And then Link comes up. It's not Link technically, but it looks exactly
It's
like
a nice
Link.
rip-off of Link.
Yeah, I mean, and Link gives you the gun.
It's Lonk.
I don't know why he has a gun. It has to do with, and then like there's also some like pixel. There's like some pixel characters too, like a pixel like Space Invader like thing. It's interesting. It's hard to explain, but it's called Game Earth. It's Game Earth. Game Earth. GAMEARTH.
Gamerth.
That's where it. Yeah, Gamerth. Let's just call it Gamerth. And you have to, because it's a legendary gun that chose you or something, then you're the chosen one to save the world, And it talks and it's funny. There's lots of comic mischief as you.
Is that how it got its rated T? I'm assuming it's rated T.
No, it's rated M.
Oh my god!
And this is the weird thing, because it's super like weirdly violent. The story is like this, Saturday morning cartoon. Totally like, but like kid friendly, and then like you blow someone's head off, and it's just like, it's really weird. Like it's kind of, it's just weird. Like everything is it's eclectic. It's eclectic, Casey. Everything stands on its own, and it's just like a hodgepodge of different things, But
interesting.
Anywho, yeah, that's the story. The gameplay is you're walking basically from left to right, and you're going through environments, and you have your gun, and kind of like a twin stick shooter where you can you hold ZL to aim it, and then you can aim in any direction. I don't know. Now I'm wondering if it
is it 360.
Yeah. Yep. So, there's some cool puzzle. So at the beginning, it introduces you to the different. You have like 4 different kinds of bullets, basically. I mean, there's 2 different kinds of bullets, but then you can do them in like slow mo or fast or regular. It's really cool. So you have normal bullets, and then you have electric bullets, and that's how you can fight like the robots. And then when you have the normal bullet, and then you can do like slow mo, where you can actually control the bullet, guide the bullet within a range, and then when it's ready, you hit ZR, and it'll shoot at something. So there's some really cool puzzles where you actually have to shoot, like for instance, like shoot around, like above the enemy and go around it, and then shoot it from the back. Pretty cool.
Interesting.
And then there's also like puzzles throughout the scenery, throughout the environment, that you have to like shoot and like dodge a bunch of bullets that are that it's happening, and to get to like a button to press to unlock a door. That happens a bunch, and they're fun. They're really fun. And then the gameplay changes it up. Like there's this part where you go into this really dark tunnel, and then suddenly and then you find a light for your gun, and it's only out when you're aiming. So when you aim, you can walk really slowly, but otherwise you just have to not aim and walk. But then zombies come up, and then you'll have to shoot them in the head. You can shoot them a ton in their body to kill them, but they come so fast that you need to shoot them in the head.
Pop them headshots,
which is zombie 101. And so
zombie 101.
And so the different things that happen in the game were fun. I was like, okay, this is like, I think they did a good job of changing up the gameplay. There's bosses, and the bosses were fun, and I've heard, like, I read the review on the site, and I've heard from Justin too. There's apparently it's not a long game. I've played it for a good 2 hours, but I don't know how long it is. But apparently, I've just heard it's not a lot. It's not that it's bad. It's just it's not a lot.
Yeah, not a beefy one. But you know what? Those are nice sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Time is precious.
I just need to mention the other main mechanic here is that you hide behind stuff like boulders. Like there'll be and then you hide behind it for cover, and so it'll when people shoot at you, they won't hit you, and then you duck out and shoot them. Which I always have loved duck and shoot like the cover and then popping out from cover and shooting because you feel like you're in a movie, you know, like get behind there, and then you duck down and then
you're like in the middle of war, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on the foxhole.
Yeah, yeah, and so like I said, and then so there's lots of story. I mean, not lots. You're not like really bogged down the story, but they do. It's all It looks like a comic book, like you know, with
enough
with
to keep
text,
you going.
the text bubbles and stuff. Yeah, and there's some twists in the plot, and it's fun. And I enjoyed the game. I mean, I think that it has a very weird, very interesting take on, like, it's just a hodgepodge of stuff that's like it's just weird. It's like a blend of different styles and different game like references and stuff, and and then it's cutesy, but then like heads blow off.
Yeah, so it's sort of all over the joint.
What is this game? You know, it's like it's so weird. And like Rise and Shine, like what is
but
what is
not
that?
A great name.
Like, you know, it's so weird. Like it's like there's a kid named like why is this like Rise? Is that a name? Is Rise a name? I've never heard anyone.
I mean, not one I'd probably. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can name your kids anything these days.
Oh, I know, but I mean that's not a common name. And Shine, I just don't. It's weird. It's not that it's bad. It's just weird. It could be
now
off-putting
you're just probably
to people.
upsetting all of our faithful listeners named Rise.
I hope so.
You hope so. You big
I
jerk.
hope that there's a lot of listeners named Rise that are offended at the concept that I don't know. There's a lot of people named Rise.
They're like, I hate this guy.
Yep.
I thought I hated him before.
Yeah, it's a pretty game, and I played it on my projector, and I heard complaints that the character is so small on the screen.
You're like, nope.
And it wasn't for me. You know, I was like, I didn't have that problem at all. So you might want to, if you only play stuff on a handheld, you might want to think about
getting a huge projector.
Or just playing on the TV.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm kidding. Yeah,
I know you are. It wasn't that funny. But no.
You're a jerk bag. No wonder why they call you Jerkum.
You're they. But yeah, so that's Rise and Shine. Fun game. Check it out on the eShop. And we have another game that's not out on the eShop, but we are going to hear us talk. Funnily enough, you're going to hear us talk about this game. This is going to be really weird. Yeah,
honestly, I don't have too much to say about it, but I did check out Nintendo. And you might be thinking, what PS4 game did Casey play now? Nope. He's playing Super Cat Tales on the old phone ski. Yes, so
me too.
Yeah, so we already recorded the session you did not hear yet with good old Mick, and he said he's been playing this game on the iPhone. So Perry and I both downloaded to check it out, and it is definitely a cute little game. So you're just a little cat, and you're going around these little levels, and you know you you hold your phone on its side, and it's just like you click the left or right side of the screen to go. You can like double tap to run. And essentially, you know, you're like going up walls and jumping off the walls to the other side, and you're collecting coins, and then I believe they're acorns, right? They look like little acorns.
Yeah. Are you seeing acorns?
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 Acorns, same thing.
Acorns, not eggcorns.
No, they're little eggs.
Oh, are they?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Did you think the acorns are pronounced eggcorns?
That's how I say it. So screw you, Perry. You big jerk. Acorns.
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 Not eggcorns.
Whatever. But is that what they are?
Yeah, I think so.
Which is weird for a cat.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd think that'd be a little mouse. But anyway, they're sort of unlocked by like doing little things. Like some are just right there, and then some have you do like little tasks. I believe the one you had to grab a key and it opened up the door somewhere else for you to get it. And it's a super cute little game. I do love little cats, so that's a big plus. But man,
it's another cat platformer on this show.
Yep, cats are taking over.
Yep.
But essentially, phone controls stink.
Yep.
It's just like some of the jumps I'd be like in air trying to jump and it like, oh, I didn't hold the button down long enough, so I only did a little jump, or oh, I held it down too long and it's too big of a jump, and I don't know.
But the mechanics work. It's just that you just can never do. You can, but like you'll have so many issues with trying to do it. With the touch controls, like my finger was barely touching it, or you know how it is, just how.
Yeah, it's a
digital
mobile game.
Inputs are not fun. Yeah, it's a mobile game, so it needs to be a Switch game.
Yeah, if there was buttons and stuff, I would definitely be more inclined to continue my quest through it. But I only played a handful of levels before I was like, I just don't want to play this, like this. But But
it's and it's really pretty and it's really fun, and like I like the I like the concept of the game. I love how it's really what am I talking about? It's like Super Mario World, like it's heavily inspired by Super Mario World. Like there's just like the
nods,
some of the
just how it looks,
and stuff, and like they're like the fish and stuff like that. Like so. Yeah, it's a very beautiful, cute game, but yeah, it is plagued by, just like every other game, besides Mutant Mudds, surprisingly, which is actually a really good digital game, or touchscreen game. But the inputs aren't as good as they could be if there was physical input. So come on,
put
Nintendo.
It on the Switch. Well, not necessarily Nintendo. Just come on, mobile devs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, just a quick little snippet there. You will hear me say, I got Digger Dan and that I was going to talk about it this episode, but I'm holding that off till next episode, so a little teaser for you boys and girls right there.
Teaser 10, Digger Dan DX, baby.
Boom.
Yeah, I need to get that too, and we can talk about that next episode. That'll be fun.
Yep. But that's going to bring us to the end of what we've been playing, and we've got a jam-packed episode, so this was I guess it's just about probably normal, maybe a little bit earlier than we normally do, but we're going to make up for it on the back end because we're going to do a quick little breather here, and then we're going to get into an old-fashioned lightning round eShop Roundup. Ooh,
giddy up.
Wee.
And we're back with the eShop Roundup.
The eShop Roundup. eHaw.
For the week of, I can't remember what week this is.
October 11.
There we go, October 11th. We're starting off, bim, bam, boom, on the speed round with True Fear Forsaken Souls Part 1 for $9.99.
There's a demo.
What is this game? There's a demo. It sounds like a very scary game. It looks like a point-and-click game.
Yeah, it looks like a little puzzle adventure game. Kicking it off right for some scary, spooky October
That's right.
business. If I was into these games, I might be into this one, because I do like a good scary game. But
well, you might be into this next one, Splash Blast Panic.
Panic!
For $13.49.
Because that's on sale 10% down from $14.99. Now, this game right here, Perry, this is an arcade fighting party game. A little multiplayer
it looks cool.
action.
It looks very cartoony. A little fighting party game. Looks fun.
Yeah, it looks like, very platform heavy, and you're battling some friends and foes.
There you
but
go.
Next up here, we got a Jimmy game, because it is an even $20, and it is called Hot Gimmick Cosplay Zhong for Nintendo Switch.
Hot Gimmick Cosplay Zhong. What is that? I mean, I know it's something. I assume.
Let's see. The number one Mahjong arcade game is coming to Nintendo Switch.
Mahjong.
But it's
Cosplay Zhang.
Oh my goodness.
What in the world? You see that one with the blue and the red?
Yeah, just getting smacked in the face. What's weird is it's like this title screen. Why is she bent over like that?
I don't know.
How
about the one with the Ron?
Oh,
the guy thumbs up and it just says Ron.
Thumbs up, broski.
Okay.
Whew,
anyway,
moving right
man,
along.
that's funny.
We've got animated jigsaws, Japanese women for $9.99. Piece together animated jigsaw puzzles of beautiful women from Japan wearing traditional.
Oh my goodness!
It's literally a puzzle game.
This is amazing. It's just putting together puzzles of just like pretty Japanese women.
Well, and I'm looking at the
eating watermelon.
Well, there's one, and she's in like a hot spring, and it's just like her leg and her arm, and like the rest is hot spring.
Yeah.
Come on, what is going on right now?
What is this anyway?
Another Jimmy price, $10 on the schnoz. 6 Sides of the World. All hail the puzzle lord.
Oh, this looks kind of cute. It's a puzzle game, puzzle action party game. So yeah, it looks like it has
sort of.
It's a party game for one player. So it sounds like a Casey party game.
A loser game.
No, a loser.
Yeah, it looks sort of like
looks
gives
like,
me
like
Galaxy vibes when you see like the individual puzzle, but yeah,
it's cool. Like little puzzles on each side, little pipes and little gizmos and
little
stuff.
Little hoodadders.
Like this next one, The Midnight Sanctuary for $9.99. So are you maybe one of the dead too? A curious, haunting tale. It's an occult horror visual novel. So there you go.
No, good timing. The
very
horror games are coming.
Creepy, weird-looking polygonal art style. Anyway, cool.
Next up, we've got a great one here. Trouser Heart for $7.99.
No, amazing. And this is like a medieval fighting game with guys in their trousers.
Unseasoned. I can't even take a Trouser Heart, man. Too good.
Pants Shotep. That's one of the bosses. Pants Shotep. I don't know. This game looks pretty cute, actually. I'm kind of digging the art style. Like, does it play like a Zelda game?
I don't know.
Kind of looks cool, dude.
You'll have to pick it up and let us know.
It's an action game. Yeah, it actually looks kind of good. To be honest, it does. Like this next game that is Ascension for $8.99, 10% off. The Ultimate Arcade Experience. So it's finally out on Switch. 1 to 2 players. It's a platformer puzzle racing game. It reminds me.
It looks like it totally like
Neo,
mazes.
Whatever that's called.
Oh,
Nano Assault.
Yeah, it looks like you're going around like a spherical little like planet with, but it's essentially looks like a maze and you're racing.
It looks
that
cool.
Game
it looks,
actually looks pretty
nice,
cool.
Dude. Yeah, looks good.
Ooh.
Ooh, Ascension.
Hey, what are you playing there, Perry? Ooh.
I'm playing ACA Neo Geo Zupapa.
Yes, this game looks sweet.
Look at this game. Oh my goodness.
We actually talked Neil was like, we got to play this for the next Patreon Plays game.
Oh
and
my
I'd be
goodness,
about it.
It looks amazing.
Look at it, came out in 2001.
Yeah,
it looks really
like
cool. Looks really cool.
Awesome. Man, I want to get that game.
Ooh.
Get it. A game
Revenant
I don't really think I want to get.
For $12.99. This looks like a little RPG.
And it has DLC in it.
What's actually sort of cool is it's like it looks like a SNES sort of style overworld, but then there's like polygonal characters. Like I don't know if maybe when you get into dungeons or something.
Yeah,
interesting. Actually, looks sort of cool. Next
next game? We got Mero, Hero of the Universe
for 13 even.
Whoa, these screenshots look sweet.
Yes, this looks
really cool. Big giant guy walking. What is this? What is this game? Do you know what this is? All you can do
is
an
adventure
try your
game.
best.
Play as Jetomoro, a giant, indestructible, and incredibly clumsy robot determined to save the human race.
Dude, this game looks awesome.
Explore a procedurally generated universe by flying through space and landing on planets while trying not to destroy everything in your path.
Dude, I have to play this game. This game looks so cool.
Buy it right now.
I'm not going to buy it now. from Ghost Time Games. Next up, loser. Now, next up. Oh, I didn't realize it was already even out yet.
Boom, boom.
Party Crashers. Boom. Party Crashers is out. And we won't say anything about this because we're going to talk with the developers in like a few minutes. Like literally in a few minutes.
We will say it's $15.
Is it? Okay, $15. Boosh. Next up, we have Frutakia 2. This is
the first one did so well, they busted out the second.
It's literally a slot machine.
For $3.99.
There's high scores. It's a match
boy.
3. How? Okay. Interesting.
Regardless, moving along.
All right.
We got Soul Blight for $14.99 on sale right now, 10% off, $13.49.
Yep.
This is a dark, unforgiving top-down action roguelike, luring you to cross the thin line between good and evil.
And bad. Oh, okay.
Good and not so good.
And the good and
I believe David played this one
and
for
didn't
the site.
like it, right?
I don't remember.
I like just saying I think that someone didn't like that just to give that game a bad rap for no reason.
That's because you're
Just
a big
kidding.
yerk.
I don't like doing that, but I think that could be. But it doesn't look bad. But what does not also look bad is Nefarious.
Me Phil
This
English.
next game. That's impossible. $14.99. The game where you get to be the bad guy. And I can't see the screenshots because they're not loading.
Yeah, Xander did the review for the site. I believe it's like a Mega Man-esque game. Like I think it's trying to go for that.
Yeah, okay,
so,
now I see it. Yeah.
So yeah.
Interesting. It's
But-
like weird, like cartoony style.
Moving right along, we've got Vertical Drop Heroes HD for $9.99. Currently 30% off, down to $6.99.
For $6.99.
So that's a nice hefty discount right there.
Yeah, it is.
This is a procedurally platformer RPG hybrid with roguelike elements.
Yeah.
It sort of looks like flashy a little bit. The color, the art style looks like a lot going on too.
But next up, we have the biggest tease and letdown of the past month, which is Art of Balance for $8.99 from Shannon
Multimedia, who the folks behind Fast RMX, and
which is a fantastic game. And this game is fun. Make no mistake.
I know, but like you said, they teased they're like, who wants to hear about our next project? And everyone's like, woo, Fast 2, baby, what's good?
Yeah, let's go. But anyway, this game is it's a very tranquil game. $8.99. You balance stuff.
This next one might be up
Casey
Perry's
in his
alley,
whole
though.
life.
Yeah, trying to balance it. Kemono Friends Picross.
This is from Jupiter. Well,
Well, I know you like your Picross.
Yeah, I do. I don't know who Kimono Friends are.
I don't know, they're cute little chibi characters.
Yep, it's made by Jupiter, who are awesome, and they do a good job. So, if you like chibi anime characters, go for it. $9.99. Now, also, if you like chibi anime characters, this next one is right up your alley, which is Super Mario Party for $59.99. We've talked a lot about it. We all know what that is. So we're going to move on to Bombing Busters for $6.99.
Looks like another game with bomb in the name.
It looks like Bomberman. It's pretty though. These are nice screenshots. I mean,
they are, but yeah, it looks like a very faithful Bomberman game.
Yeah, it sure does. It looks like Bomberman.
We'll leave it there. Next up, this came out of nowhere, and I am super happy it did. Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition, $14.99, currently
Boosh.
10% off.
Boosh. Yep, and I have this downloaded, and we're going to talk about it next week.
Yes, this game, we've definitely talked about Guacamelee on the show before. I'd imagine, right? Way back in the day for the Wii U.
Yep.
I don't really like roguelikes too much. I mean, Metroidvania games that much. Love me some Guacamelee. And, fun little tidbit, they announced that Guacamelee 2 will be coming in December. So, very good news all around.
That was the funniest interview at PAX when we were interviewing them. It's like, well, it's not really coming out, wink, wink. Yeah, okay.
Like we had an appointment with them for Nintendo World Report, and they're like, no,
I mean, we're not technically, but anyway. Next up, we have Goosebumps. The game.
The game.
This is an adventure game, and it's like it looks It's like, I guess you're reading a book. I guess that makes sense. It's based off a book series.
That game used to, and the TV. Well, didn't they make Goosebump?
Yes.
Like a TV show too?
Yep.
Those ones used to freak me out.
I loved Goosebumps. I read every single book. I loved those books.
The one with the attic. I think it's with that little doll right there, little ventriloquist doll. That scared the crap out of me.
Ventriloquist dummy. Yeah, I know, me too.
I remember the
Night of the Living Dummy.
Say Cheese and Die, wasn't that one
Say
title
Cheese and Die? No. It's Night of the Living Dummy.
Oh, no. I'm just thinking that was another book that I remember.
Yeah, that was another book. Yeah. Next up, we have Disgaea 1 Complete, which Alex Mateo talked about last week.
Yes,
$49.99 strategy RPG. You know
kookiness, baby.
Now,
and to round us out, Perry, we got one final game here.
That's right. I've heard lots about this game, which is Mark of the Ninja Remastered for $19.99. Now, when I look at it, it kind of reminds me of Dead Cells, if you know what I'm saying.
If you catch my drift.
Destructoid says the benchmark by which all stealth games are now measured. Whoa, 10 out of 10.
I don't generally like stealth games all that much, though.
Ooh,
if we're being honest. But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Casey.
Yeah. Just kidding.
Oh,
we're not being honest? Then I love stealth games and adventure games and Metroidvanias.
Woo!
And Perry. But yeah, no, it definitely looks cool. And like I said, I've definitely heard a lot of really good things. So just another game in the pile of endless eShop games.
Yep. So what's your favorite of the week?
Whoo, doctor. Let me tell you. There's a couple. There's a couple cool ones. You're going Jet.
I'm gonna go with
Jet Tomorrow, right?
No, actually, I'm gonna go with Trouser Heart. That game looks actually just like it just looks happy and fun, and I don't know.
It's tough because animated Jigsaw is Japanese women, and hot gimmick cosplay. It's hard to pick.
Hot
really.
Gimmick. Is there anything better than Hot Gimmick? That's the best name for anything ever. Hot Gimmick.
Hot
Cosplay Jong. Cosplay Jong. Can you believe it?
Let me tell you, I would go. I would either go. I'll go with this one. Ooh, Ascension.
All right, good.
Because that game really does look pretty sweet.
It does look cool. So, cool. Well, that will do it for our eShop Roundup. We have covered every game on the Switch so far. It's pretty amazing. eShop Roundup was.
I wonder how many titles.
We've covered over.
We'll
1,000,
never go
right?
back and count all the games we talked about, but it would be interesting to be like.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty insane. Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to have Ian Lewis from Giant Margarita with us, talking all about Party Crashers, which you just teased just now.
I hope he brought some margaritas with him.
Oh, he has to.
They better be frozen.
Part of the thing. Frozen margaritas. Margaritas. As Peggy Hill would say.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Peggy Hill.
It's not margarita. It's margarita.
Escúchame. Alrighty, we are back, and we are honored to be joined by Ian Lewis and Lindsay Wells of Giant Margarita, a.k.a. The Large Marge.
Hello, and thank you for that fantastic introduction.
Haven't heard that one before.
No, it blends together.
You haven't?
My love
Okay,
of
yeah, I thought
margaritas
that
and my
was
love
great.
of The Simpsons, so that's a good start.
Oh, The Simpsons. Ooh, I do love that one.
Yeah, Large Marge. Yeah. We had you on the show before when you guys released Party Golf, which we had seen at PAX East 2017. And when I convinced you to put it on the Switch, and then you did.
Yeah, that is exactly how it happened. That's exactly how I remember.
On my recommendation.
If you hadn't have asked us, we wouldn't have done it, basically.
Yeah, no, you didn't even know what the Switch was.
Yeah.
I had to pull it out and show it.
Not many people
He
knew
actually
at that
believed
point in
that.
time.
This young gentleman here thought that's a true story. What the hell?
I'm
Fake
very
news.
impressionable. Very impressionable. Everyone knows.
He's very highly educated, but just not that bright.
Yes, but the last time you were on, we talked actually a bunch about Party Crashers, which I just said earlier on the podcast was the pseudo sequel to Party Golf. Just having played it, it's very similar. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a sequel, but it's in the same
vein.
Spiritual successor.
Party,
is the fancy
baby. It's a
phrase we
party.
like to say.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So let's talk about it. So Party Golf, big thing about that was tons of customization, ridiculous amounts of wackiness, millions of variables. I mean, insane. And playable, a perfect party game. And so now you come with Party Crashers, which instead of being a side-scrolling golf game, this is like a micro.
Kart racer,
is
baby.
it micro machines? Is that one of them?
Yeah.
RC Pro. What do you guys call it? Why don't you guys give the pitch? It's your game.
So when we're talking about games that inspired us for this, it was very much old Micro Machines style. Like what you may have played on PlayStation 1, so Micro Machines V3 or V4, whatever it was called. And we've also played a couple of games called Wrecked and Mashed, where Wrecked was on the PS3, Xbox 360, and we still play that game because it was so good. And what's different from normal racing games is we have a single camera that follows all the cars around, and if you get too far behind the leader, you explode. You fall off the track, you explode. You get shot a lot.
I did a lot of that in the beginning.
Yes.
Yep. Of course, the initial one where you think it's A to go, like from Mario Kart, and
I
always
was
just like boom, like
my banana won't drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually really agonized on Switch about where to put Accelerate.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, you just it's ZR, okay, but it's always that first race, like all right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's still B as well, though, right?
It is still B.
Yeah, I
It is
used
still
B.
as
Yeah, I
well.
used B.
Yeah. But then you took the third option, which was A, which we didn't do.
Which is brake/reverse, right?
Yes, that's right. You probably reversed straight into the elimination line, actually. Yeah, that's awesome.
But
and it's one of those things that when you're in the menus, if you're Master Player 1, you're pressing A to do absolutely everything on the Switch, and then you get into the race and have to remember quickly to switch to B to accelerate.
Oh, man.
There may be a future patch that addresses exactly this issue with an option in the menu to be able to decide if you want to swap those two buttons. Because
I think we should
patch
just change
notes.
it on people.
A
I'll change it.
accelerates.
Every patch will switch that.
Yeah.
No options.
Yeah.
yeah. Nice. So tell us you based off the Micro Machines, but then with the party giant Margarita spin.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of what we ended up with in the way that Party Golf worked was being influenced by these car games that we've now based the sequel to Party Golf on, if that makes any sense. So we really like the idea of these super fast rounds, really close finishes to the end of the match as well. And that was stuff that Mashed and Wrecked in particular always seemed to generate for us when we played that as a group of friends. And so we put that into Party Golf, we put that in here. And just like we did with Party Golf, we took that tower fall style multiplayer customization screen and ramped it up to 11.
Yeah. And then we sort of tried to iterate on that as well to make it a little bit easier to make some changes by adding a mutators screen as well. So our menus, while they're the same as Party Golf, we added some extra steps to make it easy to make it fast speed or something like that without having to change game modes or go into the really complicated menu.
Yeah, we actually ended up adding more options than what we had in Party Golf, and we realised that we got to the point where the standard just big linear customization screen that we had in Party Golf was becoming unwieldy.
Yep.
So we had to split that up into subsections to make it usable at all, but then we realised as a result of doing that, while it is still easier to use that, it's pretty confronting for early players, which the Party Golf customization screen, to be honest, is. If you jump straight in there, you're like, whoa, there's too much choice here.
Well,
Golf had
but there's good
That's
little
the fun of it.
diagrams and good little explanations,
Yeah.
like what's gonna happen, and always Rat King.
Always Rat King. I always show people that attacks. It's my favourite.
But so let's talk about the initial mode that it's unlocked, because that's the most. I've played. I haven't got to play too much of this because I want to talk about what's there and then what you can do with the game. So like you said, there's this initial 4. You got the 4 racers. And is this just 4 players? I mean, can you go more than 4 or no?
At the moment, you can't go more than 4 players.
Okay.
We're going to experiment with that, but one of the things you can unlock later on is split screen, and you could imagine trying to do, if we went above 4 players, split screen, particularly on the Switch screen, would be down to postage size, literal stamps. Yeah. We don't know exactly what we'd do with those players in split screen mode, for example. So there's a little bit more to think about in terms of how the game would work if we wanted to push past 4 players.
Right. And I just saw a game. It's funny you mentioned that. I can't remember where, on like some indie sizzle reel or something for the Switch, that had 8-player split screen. I can't remember what it is now, but
I remember that too. It was like,
what was that? I can't remember though.
Do you remember for the Game Boy, like that little like magnifying glass you could put up on top of it?
Yeah. Yes.
You need one of those for your
Switch.
Well, we talked about it because we love the idea of having 8 players play, and the middle is the map.
Yeah.
You know,
it would be bonkers.
Yeah,
it'd be
and
amazing.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be too bad on a TV when you.
No, absolutely, you'd be great on a TV.
Or on a 135-inch projector, like I play my games on.
Oh yes, nice.
Boosh.
Any way he can sneak that into the conversation.
I only love to do it because Casey's so jealous.
I am also.
I am not. I would never want to play on a projector. I'm sorry.
I am also one of these projector folk, so like I'm with you there.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, but yeah, so you can go around and there's little Mario Kart-like mystery boxes you can pick up for power-ups.
Except they're not mystery boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. They're solved mystery boxes.
You gotta fight for that cow tip.
Yeah, exactly. So you can, totally, Casey.
That's the best item. You can just
the horns.
People.
The cow
I love those. Yes,
the bull, baby.
The bull. Yeah, and you can you get horns, and you can just totally ram people, and it's the best. But then there's tons of stuff. There's like, I don't know, machine guns. I don't know what you call that.
There's that one that
shoot
does
forward
like,
or backward.
The one
depending on which one you get,
eliminates half of the HP, like right off the bat, if you get that direct hit.
Yeah. And then so it's a pretty standard.
Yep. And we've got the crazy ASCII art jammer power up
that blurs out the screen,
which is a really cool effect. Totally, I love that effect. And
and I feel like that one, like where in Mario Kart, like the ink, I feel like it doesn't really do much. That actually really like screws you up pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
the ink in Mario Kart doesn't. Yeah.
What we tried really hard to do with our power-ups and our power-up boxes was the reason they're not mystery boxes is we want to make them a point of contention. Big thing in our games is we want to have as many interactions between players as possible. So like in Party Golf, you're knocking each other out of the way, trying to hit each other out of the hole and stuff like that. In Party Crashes, we've got those power-ups littered around the track, and there are ones that in particular circumstances you will want more than any of the other ones, and so you fight over them.
Yeah.
So you get a lot more collisions between players, a lot more opportunity to knock somebody off the track while they're going for that perfect power-up at that particular moment.
And I like that sometimes you get an item where it's like, you know what, I need to drop back a little bit, let off the gas, let them get in front of me so that I can really sort of use this to its full power.
Totally.
Yeah, that jammer one in particular is one of the ones that will kind of convince you to try and not be in the first place or not close to other people, because the further you are away from other people, the more likely they're not going to know where they're going.
Yeah.
The moment I get a railgun, I stop dead and wait for everyone in front, and I'm still trying to get my three-person hit with that. Yeah. It hasn't happened organically for me yet because I suck, but railgun's my favourite in the games that we've been inspired by, like Wrecked and that. They've got a railgun, and I love it.
He's always been too good at the railgun, so there was some discussion about just not having that weapon at all.
And I cried and cried, and then we
remove it.
So within the elimination mode, it goes until everyone's dead, right? I mean, until everyone falls off. And so, but when you die, you have the opportunity to then put a hex and haunt the people who are driving and drop things or drop a mine that'll try to push them off. And it's not easy. Like, it is not you aim, you have a little cursor on the screen, you aim, and you try to land a mine so you can hit them off right at the right time. And when that happens, it is so satisfying because you get your sweet comeuppance from beyond the grave.
Yeah, and you can still get some semblance of points from that as well. If you manage to kill somebody, you will actually get a little bit of score to make up for the fact that you were the first loser.
So good.
Yeah,
and I was telling Ian before, when I was just first playing, and like I died, and there's two computers playing, and there was like one coming for like the most epic comeback of all time. Like the finish line's right there, like he's like accelerating at a top speed with the speed of like power up, and right before he hit the finish line, I just dropped a brick on him. And then he just, then he stopped, and then the guy won the finish race, and it was like, ha ha! I'm like, you thought you were gonna come back? It's so funny.
The bricks were really quite close towards the end of development, as actually making it in as one of our Skyjunk options. And as soon as it got mentioned, we were like, I don't even understand how we haven't had that in there already. And I think it was in there, within the next hour of the idea.
It's a gigantic brick.
Yep. Yeah, and we almost ended up making it default. Like, the default power-up that you can use after you're dead is just a big boost that pushes people off the track. But those bricks are so hilarious.
I know, I love it.
We do a development stream week to week, or we did all the way through the development of Party Crashes. And for the very last one, my brother came in and played, and he hadn't done it before. And I swear to God, he hit me with that brick about 900 times in an hour. And it was just that old rivalry, like, reignited. I couldn't get anywhere without being smacked with a brick.
That's
and he
brilliant.
Kept hitting me on the full too. So, my car would go flying off the track.
Yeah. That's the best.
Oh,
and
that's so satisfying.
So, let's talk about, what can you do with this game? Like, I mean, like, with Party Golf, you can literally, like, change like what the game is. I mean, there's like, there's obviously already settings made, but with Party Crashers, what kind of different options are available, like, to completely change up the gameplay?
So overall, we have a lot of ways of doing it. So in Golf, we had 300 options. In Crashes, we have 800 options. But we've got some overall ways of doing things. So you've got your elimination mode that we just talked about, but then you can also say, I want to play a race mode. I think you said you haven't gotten that far yet to unlock that, where you play a split screen, and you can do 3 laps, and there's rubber banding and all of those sort of usual things that you expect from Mario Kart. Then we've got
and we do have a kart mode in there where your golf carts, because we think we're funny.
Yep, golf carts with mystery boxes.
That is funny.
That's our Mario Kart mode. We have top-down racing within the same game as well. So we've got, what's the game that we're basing that one off?
So there's an old arcade game or series of kinds of games. So like Super Sprint or 4x4 off-road racing, that kind of style.
Oh, sure.
Where you've got a fixed camera, a little bit angled above the track.
Yeah, I have that for Super Nintendo, I believe.
Isn't that sort of like Odyssey? It has like that RC racing, sort of similar?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, Super Mario Odyssey has that in there. Yeah, exactly like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Has the RC
That
mode.
is where my mind went.
No, totally, yeah. Well, it just released, so...
So we've got that, and we also have a battle arena mode as well. And so those are our 4 main styles, but then in classic Party Golf, Giant Margarita style, you take any of those and you say, okay, maybe we're all buses that can't go below a certain speed, or we've got ramps that we've got to jump over, there's speed pads on the ground, there's teleporting walls. You combine them all together with these modes, and the possibilities are basically endless.
And if you want to do a race or a time trial in split screen, you can do all that kind of stuff as well. Yep. You can do those battle modes in those tiny arenas with split screen too.
Yep.
So anything that you can do about kind of trying to combine those things together, those options are still there. We allow people to build their game modes on top of those basic styles to try and make it so most of the modes they create make sense. So that
right, kind of give them a helping hand.
Yeah.
With the initial push, like, this is the direction you can go, and then you can alter some stuff. That's smart.
So you can add all of those, like, different modifiers into that first mode. Elimination mode is what it's called, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got things...
Oh, man.
You can go as far as having teleporting gaps on the side, so you can still have walls on the side of the track, but anywhere where there isn't a wall, you can go through there and appear on the other side of the track, which entirely changes the way that racing feels like, because all of a sudden on some corners you should go on the wrong, like on the complete outside line, so then when you go through the wall, you'll come in and appear from the apex.
Turn left to go right.
I like that.
That's right. And that one's particularly hilarious with the cow catcher, because you can just come flying through a wall out of nowhere and just launch someone.
Just blindside somebody.
Yeah. And we've got trailers that you can turn on in our mutators as well, which are always pretty hilarious.
Do we still have trailers
Yes,
on
I
trailers?
played with those. Those are hilarious.
You can, we haven't played it in a long time, but you can make it so that you've got power-ups that add and remove trailers, and you can end up with like road trains.
Yeah, you can start with 5 trailers on the back of your car if you really want to.
Road trains. That sounds like a video game. Road trains.
That's about as close as we got to Rat King, because there's a bit of like I can barely control my car feeling there, but we didn't end up with if cars hit each other, that they're glued together. We didn't quite.
Oh my goodness, that would have been so funny.
We might patch that in.
We might patch that in. It's still a little bit unclear if you'd be able to drive.
And then a little crown. And then a little crown on top.
Yes.
Like when you get to like a crown like in between the two. That's funny. Yeah. So it sounds like the same. I mean, it's just more wackiness, and that's what I loved about Party Golf.
Successor.
Totally, right? I mean, have you guys said that? Are you guys okay with that term?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly how I think
term
about it.
that we use. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I didn't know if it was okay. Good. So then I'm gonna. Okay, good. So it's a spiritual successor. I'm having lots of fun with it. I cannot wait for the holidays this year for my my family to come.
When you get some people together.
When I can get and then we can play some Party Golf and Party Crashers. They're gonna have a blast. And like I said, this has been a staple with my Party Golf has been with friends coming over, because anyone can understand, anyone can pick it up, anyone can grab a Joy-Con, and it makes sense. And it's same with Party Crashers. I mean, of course. With it's a little harder because it's not.
But what's beautiful about it is that like the rounds are so quick that even if you like crash and burn for 4 rounds, then all of a sudden, like that's what happened to me. Like the first couple of ones, I was like, all right, why am I not driving? Okay, I've solved that problem. Like okay, now like how do I work my way around? And then all of a sudden, like you said, by the time you're just a couple games in, it makes sense, and and then you're knocking the person over with the side, and it's great.
Totally. And what hooked my wife, actually, she loved this game. And she's not, a very competitive type player with like really Twitch-based stuff. But she loved, when I die, I can still affect the game, which which is always a good thing to me. So when you're able to be a ghost, it's always good. That's just kind of a rule of thumb I have.
Yeah, because then no one's sitting there for a prolonged. Well, not that any particular round is really that long, but like no one's sitting there doing nothing for.
I bet you can make it really long.
Time.
Yes, you can.
you can set it for a 5-hour sesh.
You literally can. We just don't make that easy to do.
Yeah, we do have
That's
infinite,
amazing.
which is I think is.
Probably like 10,000 laps is what it really is.
Yeah, or 10,000 seconds.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no, it's 1,000,000 seconds.
10,000
whatever that
laps.
works out to.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I think we have a
24-hour
world
marathon.
record stream.
I don't know if
in the
you,
books here.
24-hour Le Mans.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody. I don't know if you ever tried to do one of those in Gran Turismo. They had actual full-blown 24-hour races. I tried to do some of the 2 or 3 hour ones, and I was like, no, this is too much. I'm actually.
I bet you there are people who stream that somewhere on Twitch.
Yeah, you're right.
Like to go
Speaking
down
of that,
those
we should add a
corridors.
desert bus mode, right? We've got the buses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
well, let me tell you, I chose the banana at first because, of course, why not? But
Just have a
I ended
banana.
up doing much better with that bus, just wreaking havoc on those people, those poor AIs.
yeah. So do the cars have different stats and stuff?
No, basically.
Okay, it's all. That's
So
all.
a bus
aesthetic.
will drive the same speed as a banana. We've done the science on that. We checked that in the real world.
I guess it was just morale of being behind a big old bus that just propelled
very-
me to
It's
a
mostly
victory.
psychosomatic.
So it's
though
super
there is
realistic.
a little bit of the colliders on the cars are different.
Yeah,
and
so they have
they'll-
different collision boxes, so you will get a little bit of a different effect if you get hit by a missile or something like that.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
some will be more likely to tip over when you get hit, but other than that, there's no speed stats when selecting them from that screen. But there's another way where you can say, okay, make player 1 be the bus, but that also automatically makes them slower or something like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So if you jump into
there's always
the deep
a way to do
customization
it.
menu, you can change all those stats, and so and you can do that from the final ready up screen as well. If you're master player 1, you can actually slow down some players, make it harder for the person who's winning too much. And another thing for people that are struggling when the game just gets started, I know you've got to play a round or two to unlock the mutated screen. But you can turn on all walls really easily, just a single click and say, now we have walls 100%. So falling off the track is no longer an issue.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's tempting to actually change that to make it so all walls are on for the first couple of rounds. Now that we've realised we had to do that when demoing the game for people, we might have to...
At PAX West, when I was showing people, I was turning on all walls, turning on bricks rather than the boost as the after death power up, because it made more sense to have those two as a combination. And it did help people get into the game.
Yeah. And it sounds like you could call this Super Mario Kart Maker also. From Large Marge.
The old Large Marge, baby.
Yeah, well, I am, like I said, I'm happy it came out on Switch. I'm happy. And what other platforms is it out on, too?
So we're also out on PlayStation 4 and Steam for Windows.
And it's coming to Xbox soon.
Awesome.
And it's coming to the Xbox. Very good.
I can't wait to get a few, like when my sister comes to visit, I could see this being definitely a fun one to get into with, like I said, just knock her off.
Well, Casey just got a dog. You could play with Kate and Donnie. The dog can play. Why not? There's probably a dog mode in there somewhere.
We've got constant acceleration mode.
Responds
so
to
you
licks.
could just lick the steering stick, and then, that moves it
Casey,
around and it drives for him. So that'd be all right.
Casey,
we need a car that looks like a
this.
stick. I'm sure he'd be very happy.
He loves sticks.
Some sort of chew toy that if you chew on the left, you'll go
just
left.
Like his
chew
owner.
on the right, it goes right.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast and talking about it. It's fun. It's out on the eShop right now, which I didn't realize. I guess it must have. Did it just launch?
It launched last week, last Thursday.
Yeah. Cool. And it's $14.99 and in the USA. Let's see, I don't know the conversion of Australian dollars.
It's like 22-ish, 21-ish or something.
Something like that. We also don't necessarily know those conversions.
Yeah. You wouldn't know the name. You wouldn't know the price of your own game.
Go to the eShop, yes.
Yeah. It was so much fun to have you guys on. You guys are the coolest, and
yes, for sure.
It's always heard about Tasmania, right?
Yeah, that's right. Little island off the bottom of Australia.
That's right.
Sometimes left off maps.
Yeah, quite often left off maps, but apparently not as much as New Zealand. New Zealand
How
gets
could
left
they
off
leave
more
the
maps
Large
than
Marge
Tasmania.
off the map?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks so much for having us. It's been great talking to you. Thank you for letting us talk about our game for half an hour.
Yeah.
Heck
no problem. It was our pleasure, really.
Totally.
Do you guys have a Twitter or anything? Tell the people where they can find you outside of the eShop.
We have at Giant Margarita on Twitter and at Giant Ian on Twitter and at Giant Lindsay on Twitter, and our Discord is the best place to get in contact with us. I don't know.
I think it's giantmargarita.gg or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. There's go to our Twitter and there's a link to our Discord.
We are the old men of Discord.
Yeah.
That we barely know what's happening.
The youngins on our team are probably cringing right now that we don't know how to link.
We won't tell them about this podcast or tell them it goes for exactly really 29 minutes.
When you hear it. The best way to contact us is just go to it through this thing.
Yes, that's right.
Discord can be confusing to send those invites out and stuff. So
that's right.
I don't blame you guys.
Discord.gg/Giant Margarita. There you go.
There you go. I knew there was a GG in there.
Yep.
GG. Giddy up.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you guys for joining us. Again, it's our pleasure to have you guys here. And I think we'll take a quick little breather, Perry, and then we'll wrap up the show after the break.
Sounds good.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed it was. But I think it's time to jump on the plane, Perry.
Jump on the plane?
And fly from Australia up to the UK.
Wait, we don't have to do that.
Oh,
I think he's here.
He's coming here?
Mick's here.
All right, hold on one second.
He flew here.
Let's go get that.
Okay.
Alrighty, we are back, and we are honored to be joined by one of the four horses himself, Mick Waits.
Hello.
Mick.
Technically, I'm all of the four horses.
That's right. Darn straight.
Yeah. There's just me, although I have been recently thinking about recruiting a second horse, who I don't know whether they'll take up one horse spot or two. Definitely not three.
You need to be the majority horseman.
Yeah, the lion's share of horses.
We said it was Michael, Mike, Mick, and Mac.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, I remember that. I don't know if I told you, when I originally did the 3DS version of Digger Dan, the artist that I subcontracted was called Mick, annoyingly.
What are the chances?
Seriously?
I am serious. Mick Hanrahan. It refers to himself as Chunky Pixels.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, so if everyone doesn't remember, Mick also, is that under the Four Horses moniker? Digger Dan?
Yes, it is. It wasn't originally on DSiWare. That was published for me by Virtual Playground. But when I published the 3DS version, that was the whole reason I set up Four Horses, was just simply to publish that game.
Yeah, and then so you released that in 3DS, and then you worked with Michael Burns.
Yep.
And he had this game, Kid Trip.
Yep.
This amazing game we've talked about on the show. That Casey reviewed on the 3DS. And that's the project that you brought to the 3DS and now to Switch, and then now the sequel, Miles and Kilo, is on the Switch. And so you have your three. Well, now when's Digger Dan coming?
Well, I can't talk about that. Probably. It's it's a difficult one.
You're the four horses of four horses. You shouldn't have any sort of embargo. No, I'm just kidding.
You'd think, wouldn't you? But no, my work with Digger Dan is complete. As much as I obviously have a very soft spot in my heart for that game, I'm not likely to be revisiting that one. I've had the artwork redone at least 4 times now, so. I'd have to have it done again. Yeah, I've had a couple of looks for it that I just wasn't entirely happy with. I always wanted Mike Burns to produce a set of art, but he was busy working on Miles and Kilo at the time, so it was never going to work out, unfortunately. I would have loved to have seen what he could have done with it. But
gotcha. Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, I've got some. Yeah,
I'll move on from that. But but you have some stuff in the pipeline. Or are you?
Work in the pipeline at the minute is getting Miles and Kilo onto the other consoles and onto Windows. I think the Windows version sort of comes for free, because if I do an Xbox version, build it a particular way, it just works on Windows, and I think it's cross-buy and sort of cloud save and all that. I'm not sure.
Awesome.
I'm not familiar with it.
I know Microsoft usually does stuff like that, where they're just like, play it on whatever you want.
Yeah, I think this is the case. It's what they call a Universal Windows Platform build, UWP for short. So it runs perfectly fine on my laptop, and it runs perfectly fine on the 2 Xboxes that they sent me. And
on the Windows Phone.
In theory, I can't find one.
Yeah. You got to be careful though, Mick, because Xbox. All the Microsoft platforms, they're not used to having such cool games put on their platforms.
Ooh, gee, Perry.
So you got to be
throwing some shade.
That's just a joke. That's just a joke. But that's just what I'm trying to say is that Miles and Kilo is such an awesome game. So such a cool game.
Thank you.
It's been one of my favorite games this year. It really stuck out to me for sure. So It's a lot of fun. So you got to show off these games at EGX, which is the European Gaming Expo.
Yeah, in sunny Birmingham, in the good old United Kingdom. Nice 3.5-hour drive down there, and then 4.5 days stood on my feet.
Man!
I genuinely, I was utterly taken aback at how physically destroying it was. I was an absolute mess by the end of Sunday. My legs were jelly. It was exhausting, but it was
and then
brilliant
your voice probably, right?
Oh yeah, people
talking.
People were sort of referring to me as Barry White back at my day job for the full week after. I think that it didn't help that I had a little bit of a cold still hanging around, but yeah, I was all husky.
Yeah, I know generally, like, after a PAX, people always talk about the PAX plague, so I figured probably something similar over there, where just all those people, I don't know how large it is in comparison to, like, a PAX East, but I'd imagine probably pretty comparable, so yeah, you get, tens of thousands of people coming around and all that.
Is it tens of thousands? I really don't even really know.
PAX, yeah, I'm pretty sure over the weekend they might even get...
EGX.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking, yeah.
EGX,
you know, Mick?
Last year was about 80,000. I'd never counted that many this year because I wasn't always looking.
You're just sitting there counting.
That'd be impressive, yeah. There was 87,913.
That PAX Plague thing, by the way, they missed a beat there. They could have called it a PAX Pox.
Yeah, that would have been a good one too.
But anyway,
seriously, small packs.
Yeah, small packs. That's very good.
I just took your joke and
And
you had to one up on Perry, didn't you?
Did.
But yeah, so 3.5 hours. That's not a bad
jerking.
drive. I mean, I think Casey had to drive. How many hours, Case? To PAX?
To PAX, it's weird because we took
like
a ferry,
5, right, or 4.
So it'd be like an hour and a half, then like an hour and a half ferry, and then like 3.5 more, I think.
Oh, so like 6.5 hours.
But the ferry breaks it up nice, actually, because then it's not just straight driving.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And then I had to fly over there. But we're actually going to PAX South in a few months, which is in San Antonio, Texas.
Cool.
Which we're super excited about.
Oh, is Jules going to be there?
He is. We're going to be hanging out with him.
That's fantastic. I know he's from around that area. Is he in Texas? Am I right? Am I thinking of someone else?
He is. Yes.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Yes.
I thought he was.
Isn't he right near San Antonio too? Isn't he pretty close?
Yeah, he like with Retro, they're in Austin.
Yeah.
Still just
Austin,
working
Texas.
on nothing.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, I know. So, yeah. So tell us about EGX. So, because I guess I don't. Is it a one a year? Is it once a year thing? Are there multiple ones? Do you know anything really about it? Like when did it start and stuff like that?
It's been going on a while, I believe. I think it might have replaced something that the name just won't come back to me at the moment. There was an expo that I got to go to when I was working for a different company, and that was about the time that the Game Boy Advance launched, because I got to play on a Game Boy Advance before it went on sale and utterly fell in love with the system there and then.
It's a good system.
That is a good one.
Yeah, apart from the backlight issue, obviously, but yeah.
And it should have had 2 more buttons. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah,
I wish they would have had 2 more buttons.
Possibly.
So they could have done Super Nintendo games like
proper.
Easier. I don't know.
Oh, what was
anyway.
What was it missing for Super Nintendo games? Did it just have 2 face buttons?
It just has 2 face buttons.
Yeah, of course. In my mind, I seem to remember 4. Yeah, it should have had 2 more buttons. That's outrageous.
Totally. Yeah. Right? I know. I don't.
Probably trying to keep them costs down.
What a rubbish system.
What a rubbish system.
I love the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, me too. You should see my box of Game Boy Advances, especially the SP.
I've got a couple of the micros.
Oh,
yeah, I have 1 micro.
I don't have a micro, but that's always been like the
Get
one
off the
system
podcast.
I've always really wanted. But like they're pretty expensive now.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I've not looked. We wouldn't even consider selling one. What I do have from that era as well, and I like to tell people this. I've got a copy of A Link to the Past with the 4 Swords Adventures that's signed by Mr. Miyamoto.
What?
That's amazing.
I actually had 2.
How
I
the
gave one
heck
to my
did
nephew.
You get that?
Well, we happened to be going to London to see Erasure in concert, and it coincided with a visit to. They were promoting Wind Waker, so he was there signing all sorts of anything you took basically. And I'd imported these from America, so there probably weren't that many of them in the country because the game hadn't launched over here yet. So I took 2 copies down to get those signed.
That's amazing. So you awesome. Met him and you got him signed?
Yeah.
I mean,
handshake and everything. He said thanks for making Digger Dan.
Oh,
that's
my
sweet.
Goodness.
It might
Perry,
not
who have
that.
you met from Nintendo?
Some of the Treehouse people. I know. Casey met Reggie last year. That
cool
slime ball.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was sort of hoping it'd be at EGX, but
he's probably playing Smash somewhere.
Yeah,
dude, that is cool, dude. That is so cool. So, did you have the box, or is it just the cartridge signed?
No, it's the box that signed the 2 boxes.
Goodness.
I'll send you a photo.
Dude, I am jealous. Please send me a photo. That is so
yeah,
sweet.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, wow. So, so you think the EGX, it used to go by a different name? And then,
I think it might have, or at least the old one stopped and EGX sort of saw an opportunity to take over. But they do, there's a specific Res show now that they do at the start of the year. In the main show, the Res zone is all the indie stuff, and that's the zone that everybody just comes rushing past as they go through the entrance at top speed. It was quite funny because I was talking to someone who was a bit of a veteran while I was there, and he was saying how that's what happens. The doors open, everybody comes rushing past at high speed to go get to play Smash or whatever else, and then eventually people will sort of filter back into our zone, and then we'll be busy for the rest of the day. So I stood waiting for this to happen, and I got my phone out to film it as well. And the first thing that happens is they let all the people who have mobility issues in. So it was less of the rush that I was prepared for to filming on my phone.
Wheelchair rush?
There was a lot of hobbling and some slow wheeling going on. So I sort of stopped recording, but then they let everyone else in, and they just came and bowled them all over.
Why are you recording them,
skills.
you jerk?
Yeah. Who's that jerk by the 4 horses?
Who's that jerk
sign?
making fun of the people who can't move fast? Yeah.
So I did get my recording of people rushing in, but then on the Sunday I was stood watching it again. But this time, there were people coming past on crutches, and I swear those crutches were barely touching the ground. they were coming in at high speed.
You mean that they were just doing? They were holding
flying,
them there
man.
so they can. Yeah.
I suspect some
Okay,
people,
so pro tip.
Some people might have used crutches and wheelchairs to get to the front of the line, because behind the crutches there were a couple of people in wheelchairs being pushed by other people. It must have been about 20 miles an hour.
Oh my goodness.
It was so funny.
Oh my goodness.
I was just waiting for someone to fall out.
That's ingenious.
Well,
that is so funny.
I remember my first PAX I went to. It was probably pretty similar. It was like, all right, I need to hit Nintendo. And that was the year Splatoon came out. So, So I think I waited in line for 2 hours to play one round of Splatoon.
Jimmy.
And then every year after that, it would be like last year I didn't even go to granted we had we got to see Nintendo behind closed doors, so but it was it's so much better. I realized at the end of that first year I was like, man, I wish I went and I just saw more indies, because first off, the lines are way shorter. And you actually get to talk to the people who make the game, And it's cool to hear the passion they have for the games and stuff. So every year it's been my time has been way lower for the big boys, you know what I mean? And then just going around and seeing indies have been the majority share.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very tongue-in-cheek, but I was sort of saying this. The people turn up and they rush to see a game that they're going to get to see anyway, that they know about anyway, and that they're going to buy anyway. And then they spend 2 hours queuing just to get to play it a couple of months before it comes out. And there are hundreds of games there that they would never know a thing about, and they're there for them to try. It's like a demo for games that might never have a demo. They can sit down, they can play them, and they might find a game that they absolutely love. But it's how it is. I no doubt I would have been exactly the same. In fact, I was. I went there as a visitor 2 or 3 years ago, and I was straight to the Elite stand, and I already owned the game. But I just wanted to see if I could meet the makers and talk them into doing a conversion. But anyway, that's that was sort of business.
Gotcha. Well,
yeah, I understand it. I totally understand it. It's just sort of seems a bit of a shame and a missed opportunity for them to come and spend the money with me.
Yeah, I know. It's like instead of waiting 2 hours in the line, they could have played through
like 30
the whole
games.
entirety of Miles and Kilo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Now,
We should have maybe taken a Switch and walked down the queues just saying, do you want to try this while you wait?
It'd actually probably be a great idea. I remember...
I suspect someone might get upset with us if we did that.
Really?
Shut up, Nintendo.
I wasn't talking about them.
Yeah, shut up, Miyamoto. Miyamoto's like, I signed your thing a few years ago. You don't walk around the lines here. Miyamoto, this isn't even for a Nintendo game. What are you doing? But so how was your booth set up? So did you have? Was it all Switch?
But yes, sort of.
Okay.
I've only got one Switch close to hand, and we had two screens. The res zone sort of set out for the most part in these little runs of 4 areas, and we had 2 side by side. So I'd got a big poster in the back that showed Miles and Kilo on one side and Kid Trip on the other. It was amazing how many people basically thought that it was 2 different developers there with 2 different games that had landed next to each other, but the games were nearly identical.
Right.
It's like, no, that's a sequel.
Dude, you guys should like sue these other people because they look exactly like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people made the comparison as well, like Kid Trip's the 8-bit version and Miles and Kilo's the 16-bit version. Because the chunkier graphics, they just figured it was more 8-bit rather than 16-bit.
Well, it is kind of a weird thing, you know. Like it is kind of like Kid Trip, like they're so similar, but they look like different. You know, like I mean, even their color schemes are even like just a little different. So it is kind of like a strange thing where it's like it is kind of like a different take on the same game. So I kind of get that, but they're so cool. But yeah,
probably because that's sort of what it was. That I suspect Miles and Kilo might have not quite started out as a sequel and more reworking, but sequel fits.
It's definitely a sequel. I think a great comparison would be like Super Mario Bros. To like Super Mario Bros. 3 or World. But I just mean the idea of it's kind of I mean, I said it last time. It's all there, all the stuff in the original, but it's expanded upon, and I just think better.
Yeah, it gives those a little more mechanics that just feels so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like I said, I remember when I first played Kid Trip, I was really surprised. Like, man, it just feels really good, you know. Like, and it's one of those games where I'm like, I need to get everything. I need to 100% this level before moving on to the next one, you know. And then with Miles and Miles and Kilo, it was like, all right, like I wonder, is it going to be
like, there's no way.
It looks nice, like it looks nicer. Like, how's it going to be different, you know? And then to my surprise, it actually like you said, it feels the same, but it feels like completely different at the same time, and in a good way, you know, like it really ramps it up.
It feels more refined, and I think with the moves as well that you sort of chain together in Miles and Kilo, you sort of jump, swing on a rope, slide under a gap, jump over something, punch through a wall. It almost feels a bit more like a rhythm game. It feels a bit more flowing.
Totally.
It certainly is Kid Trip refined, definitely.
Yeah. But I just think like, and that's what I mean by like Super Mario Bros. Because it's kind of like, I feel like Super Mario Bros. 3 is Super Mario Bros. Refined. With with just expanded upon stuff. So, but yeah, Mick, did you listen to that episode where we talked about Kid Trip for the first time?
I did. I listened to it yesterday in my last hour of work.
Yeah, because I mean, we were kind of in the. I was just thinking about that because we saw it on the eShop first, and like because we didn't know what it was, you know, and that's the beauty of the eShop Roundup. That's why we do it, because like a lot of times, like even this week, I'm I get to reach out to game developers if we find games on there that look awesome. And so I remember we saw that. I'm like, this game looks so cool, right? And then so when the review came around, Casey's like, yeah, like it's awesome, you know, and like it, you know, is a perfect match for the 3DS, which I feel. Now you talked about Miles and Kilo coming to 3DS.
Did I?
That would be freaking sweet with stereoscopic 3D. Oh my goodness!
I would like to do it.
Yeah, of course we would.
unfortunately,
No, I get it.
I just don't think the pub. I mean, if you look at the sales difference in Kid Trip on 3DS and Switch, it's like
night and day.
It really hurts me every time I look at the 3DS sales figures because I love the game so much. I desperately wanted to bring it to the 3DS because I knew it would just shine with the stereoscopic 3D and smooth frame rate. It's a perfect little game, and the screen was almost made for it. I couldn't believe it when everything fit on the screen without having to rework any of the graphics or anything.
Right, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I want to do Miles and Kilo, and the reality is I would have to do a rewrite of it. Whereas for the other consoles, I don't. It's written in monogame.
No, it's not a good idea to do it for the 3D. I mean, it's a good idea as an artist.
Well, there's a lot of things that aren't a good idea, and I'm very good at following those things. Because I do tend to follow my heart rather than my sensible business brain, because I don't have a sensible business brain.
Well, I tell you what, I just saw a commercial yesterday for the 2DS XL on TV, so Nintendo's still pushing that 3DS.
They are.
I was sort of surprised.
Well, when the 3DS came along and the DSi fizzled down more than it. I mean, never really fizzled up. I don't think the DSi too much. But I noticed there was a company putting out about 4 or 5 releases on the eShop all at a time, and they had more coming. And they were just sort of little arcade games. They look quite nicely made. And I do wonder if there is then sort of like a boost in sales for companies that are then putting games out on a system that's essentially dead, but might be getting passed on to new customers as the original owners buy the upgrade. So, maybe if I find myself with nothing to do, I could start converting it for 3DS and then look for when it really does die, and if a successor comes along, and then maybe that might be a good time commercially to release it and actually make the venture worthwhile, worth the time put in. So I don't want to rule it out, but I 100% I'm going to rule it in. I'd love to do it. I really would. I mean, I've already sort of run it on the PC at the 3DS screen res just to see how it would look.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be so cool. And you'd also be so freaking cool. And I'm serious, I would totally get this. A physical version of Kid Trip and
that
Miles
limited
and
run,
Kilo.
baby.
Like the collection. I think that'd be a really cool. You know what I mean? I don't know what you'd call it.
If it was possible for me to do a physical version, I wouldn't be saying no. I've gone through the thought process of maybe that's. I mean, I'm not a fan of Kickstarter, but for me, that would be a thing that would be a perfect Kickstarter, where basically I create one tier. And that tier is you pay me enough for one cost of the cartridge and shipping, you get a cartridge and it's shipped to you. There's no just give me £1 to back it or $1.
Yeah.
And there's no give me 5,000 you can come to the launch party nonsense.
Oh my goodness! If you did that,
no stretch
sign
goals.
me up. Sign me up right now.
Perry's flying to the
two
UK
right now. I'm buying one for Casey too. You got 2 copies right now.
That would be so cool. I mean, I'd love a physical copy of Kid Trip on 3DS. I'd love a physical copy of both.
You should totally talk to Super Rare Games, which they're based in the UK.
Yeah, I know they are.
You totally should.
It would be. Oh, that'd be so nice. I can already picture the box art and the beautiful manual on the inside.
Oh, baby.
I'm gonna say I have already talked to them. Unfortunately, I don't think they think it's gonna be viable for them financially.
No,
I don't think that it's
a
big enough interest.
Well, I don't know if and of course the games are pretty inexpensive too.
Yeah,
which I think that they've gone on about they want kind of bigger games. I don't know, but anyway, I want the game. So, and by the way, I am staring at 2 different limited copy games, which is Mutant Mudds and Slime Son, that are on my shelf. That's on my show that I said that I want, and it got done. So I'm just saying, you don't know the power that I have, Mick. I have the power.
You heard it here first. Perry's guaranteeing it.
This is a guarantee.
If you have powers to get me out of doing a day job so I can do this full time, I'll get them to you faster as well.
Boom.
I need that. Yeah, you can use that power on me too, Perry. I want to quit my day job too.
No, I want you to keep suffering, Case. No, but So
I got a question. How did you end up meeting or starting to work with Michael Burns? Like, was that something that you guys had sort of met through maybe like mutual friends, or
Well, I'm sure if you'd bothered to turn up to my last interview, we probably covered this.
That's what I was gonna say. He's calling you out, Case.
I know. God dang it!
No, it's just I tell this story quite a lot on the on various podcasts, so I don't want to turn listeners off hearing it again. Long story short is he was posting sort of screenshots of his work on Kid Trip onto the Nintendo Life forums, and I just saw the artwork and instantly thought that would be ace if that ever made it to be an actual game, and not realizing he was actually making it into a real game. So yeah, it was many years ago. I think I heard yesterday, in fact, I think it was you that said it when I was listening to the podcast, that Kid Trip was originally published about 2014, was it? So it was probably about 2012 that I was, because it took him a long time to develop it, because he was doing it while he was at school. Or college or some form of education. So yeah, it was way back then, and right away I said to him, look, I want to do you a 3DS version of this. I got him to send me the source graphics, and I made him a stereoscopic image that he could view on his 3DS of essentially a screenshot of the game, just to show him how awesome it would look. So it's been a long time coming.
Awesome. Yeah, and then wasn't he? I'm trying to. I might be getting something mixed up here, but wasn't he going to make it on 3DS? And you reached out to him to do it, but he's like, I'm already doing it.
Well, essentially, sort of, yeah. I think I might have been the first person to talk to him, but it was like, well, let me get it out first and then talk to me. And then I talked to him again, and it's like, oh, well, there's another developer publisher interested, and I was, well, fair enough, because at the time I didn't have my own company, so we would have had to find a publisher to publish a thing for us, which obviously adds a lot of complication and chews away some of the potential profits. But yeah, they essentially let him down. they never produced anything working, and I asked him to send me the source code with all the guarantees that I would delete it at the drop of a hat if he said so. And I got him the intro up and running in a week, the menu system fully working in 2 weeks, and the first level playable start to finish after a month.
Boom.
Yeah. I mean,
part-time.
It sucks that the people fell through, but ultimately it turned out to be a good thing.
For me, it did. I dread the thought that I've essentially cost him sales, because this other publisher's got much more marketing power than I have. I'm a funny one, business-wise. I just worry, like I say, essentially exactly that. It's great that I've been able to bring Mike's games to console for him, but as yet they haven't really provided enough of income for him to do this full time, and I think they should, because they're fantastic games.
Absolutely.
And I just worry that maybe I was the wrong choice for him. He doesn't regret it. When I've said this to him, he totally tells me I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong too. I think that because the games, the way they are, they stand out on their own, and they run. They're perfect. I mean, like the way that they're done. Like, there's no issues with the games from your end. So I think that I don't. I mean, like, marketing, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, and that's the problem.
Really does. Yeah, yeah. But I wouldn't beat yourself up about it, because I just think that's just I think it's a lot of it is timing and what's going on, and
Yeah. Well, from my point of view, I think a good future path for me would be to find similar games like Kid Trip and Miles and Kilo, really good high quality games that the creators don't really have a path to console, and take them to console for them.
Yeah.
But I have been in negotiation with someone about a particular project, a mobile game that I really, really liked, really high quality, and he was really, really interested. But all along the way, I said, look, if you can find anyone else who can publish it, who's going to do a better for you, go with them. And that actually happened. You see, I was going to have to rewrite the game from scratch because it was made within a particular engine. But as it happens, that engine now exports to Switch, so it became a lot easier for him just to find someone to publish it for him. So,
gotcha.
He's gone down that route, and I'm totally fine with that. I wish him every success, and I suspect he'll have far better success than he would with me. But that's just
your
me.
check should be in the mail for the work done, of course. But yeah. No,
no, I've not done any work at that point. We were just talking about getting it done. It was never going to start until I got...
Time is money, Mick.
Yeah, I should...
Consulting fees.
Yeah, send him a bill. Good luck on your journey. Here's $100,000 bill. No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be a nice check.
No, that's good. I Casey just really needs some money, Mick. If you could... You mentioned money, and Casey's all, googly-eyed, but... No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not really kidding, but
don't we all need money?
Yeah. So Mick, what have you been playing? I mean, video game wise, you talk about porting games and having appreciation for games and getting games signed by legendary game designers. But do you play video games?
I do when I get chance, and I've had a little bit of chance recently. Since we last spoke, I did something that I never do, and I double dipped on Axiom Verge, so I've now played that through to completion. I've tried to play Hollow Knight. I'm finding it frustrating. I think it's a beautiful game. I'll go back to it and I will finish it, but I've got to the point now where I think I know I'm just not going to experience all the game has to offer without a guide, so I'm just using the internet to find the things that I'm missing, and also just to make the job easier, because it is brutally difficult.
Oh, man.
But games I should mention, and it's non-Nintendo. Sorry, people who are
that's okay.
100% Nintendo only. A game I played a year or two ago on my phone called Super Cat Tales, which is the most gorgeous 2-button platform game. I'm sorry, Kid Trip. It's more gorgeous than Kid Trip. Sorry.
No, it's not.
It is, because it's got cats in it. So
I do love cats.
No.
It does look super cute.
It's cats, and they drink Pepsi as well.
Oh
no, they don't.
I'm buying this game.
I'm just winding you up.
No. Can you imagine they just pounded a can of Pepsi before every level? The product placement.
Amazing. And their name is Cassandra.
Yeah.
I don't get that reference.
Casey Gibbs.
He's just making fun of my name.
Right,
I'm making fun of his. Yeah.
I was planning to call you Cassie at some point, but it's never come up.
Okay. You can just do it from now on.
Yeah, whenever you want. Hey, Cassie. Yep. And you just don't even say anything
Gibbons.
else after that.
You can call me Pert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere. So yeah, Super Cat Tales. Well, the sequel just came out on Thursday, and I was sort of hitting the refresh button on the App Store because I've been waiting so long for this game, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I've been playing that, and then Mario Party arrived yesterday from Amazon. Even though I didn't pay for Prime, it arrived on launch day, which was quite nice.
Okay, so, but I'm pretty sure this game is Switch, isn't it? Super Cat Tales?
No,
I think you're thinking Magicat.
Oh, I bet you know, because I bet you're trying to put it on the Switch.
I'd love to, but that's not happening.
So maybe I've just been seeing your retweets for this game. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, probably.
That's probably why, because that, yeah.
Well, it's a free download, right? I'm downloading it right now.
Yeah, well,
the first one at least.
Give the guy some money, pay for premium, get rid of the ads.
Nope.
Play it first.
Just kidding.
No, play it first.
That's cool. That
you like it, but then pay him for it. That's what I do. I do that with all mobile games. If I like them, I'll buy an in-app purchase, even if it's something I don't particularly want in the game. But
to give him some money.
Yeah.
Yep, I thought this. Yeah, you know what? If you would have asked me if this game was coming to Switch, I would have said yeah, because I've seen it all over.
You've seen it so much from me. That'll be it.
Yes, yeah, this game looks cool. I will heartily disagree with your notion that it's more beautiful than Kid Trip.
Well, have you played it yet?
I've looked at screenshots and gameplay. And I just don't agree. I think Kid Trip and Miles look way cooler. Anyway, continue. What about the game? This Pepsi game?
It's really cute. It's got cats. I don't know. What more can I say?
But how does it play? I mean, is it
Well, the controls are fairly simple. It's I'm doing reviews now. Okay, so it's got a 2-button control system. So you simply go left or right. If you double tap a direction, the cat runs, and they will automatically jump when they reach an edge of a ledge. And when they run into walls, they'll sort of try and scratch their way up them, but they can only climb so far. Push away from the wall, and they'll wall jump across the other side. And the levels are sort of a little bit puzzly, so you'll get hidden things in areas that you didn't necessarily think you could reach. But you unlock additional cats as you play through, and different cats have different abilities. So one of them can swim against strong currents. One of them can climb higher than the others. One of them's got more of a sort of glide, so you can reach ledges that the other ones can't reach. And it's just so incredibly cute, really well put together, gorgeous graphics, really good music. I mean, the production values are so high, which is why this is the sort of thing that I would absolutely love to bring to console. Because like Kid Trip and Miles and Kilo, I thought they had incredibly high production values as well, and that's what I want to bring to. That's what I bring to people. Bring to the public.
Have you reached out to them?
Super Mario World-ish.
Yeah, I have.
Gotcha. So it's happening now.
The ball's in their court.
Oh man.
Yeah, the ball's in their court, and I can't see their court, and I don't know where their court is, and they've got a restraining order.
The ball is in some court. We just don't know if it actually got to their court.
They've got a restraining order. Well, I've downloaded it right now as we're talking.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. It looks awesome, and I hope it comes to Switch with physical.
I do love cats.
We do know. I like cats outside, and all these look like they're outside, so that's okay.
What's wrong with an indoor cat, Perry?
The smell and the poop box.
They smell. Cats don't smell.
And how they rub against you.
What?
Dogs smell worse than cats.
Goodness, Casey.
You can have cats inside that go outside at will.
Yeah, we have. Well, my parents, I guess now. When I lived there, obviously, but we have cats. Yeah, they go in and out. So, but my cats never. I mean, of course, like the litter box is gonna smell, but you keep that down in the basement where you don't really smell it. But cats do not smell worse than dogs.
Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness!
If you pet a cat and you smell your hand, it does not smell like cat. If you pet a dog, your hand's gonna smell like a dog.
No, it's not the same. No.
Okay, buddy.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the smell that they have is ridiculous in your house.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know the spray that they spray around your house because they're disgusting creatures?
What cat spray are you talking about?
Exactly.
That's not normal cat behavior. Some cats might, but that's not every cat.
Yeah, none of my cats have ever sprayed anything around the house.
The cats, the black and white cats. They don't really look like cats. Days. They don't really look like cats.
You mean like a raccoon or something?
No,
skunk.
No, they're cat. Yeah, a skunk. I'm trying to say a skunk, but yeah. Yeah, they stink. My friend had one of those in his house, and it stunk.
Well, then I believe it, but...
No, I know I'm talking to two cat people right now, but...
Yes. You're on a losing battle.
You're outnumbered.
Well, I just refer you to the Jim Gaffigan bit, the comedian, where he's like, yeah, I don't mind cats. My neighbor in my apartment building has a cat, and I walked in there and she's like, hey, how do you like my apartment? I bet you can't tell I have a cat. And he's like, no, I can't tell you have a cat, but I can tell you have a big box full of turds. But I'm just kidding. I do like cats. I don't like how they're so sporadic, but that's just, people can like that. I like pets that like me and love to hang out with me.
See, but I've never
genuinely want to protect me. And
I've had one cat that didn't like it. The one cat we have loves my dad, but nobody else. But every other cat I've ever had has been super friendly.
Okay, well, anyway, dogs are better. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so we can move on. No, I'm kidding. No, you know what? I've played Super Cat Tales before. I realized after playing this. Isn't that funny?
Nope.
It's funny that you don't remember it. Cutest graphics ever.
I know, it's really cool. It does look a lot better now that I'm playing it in person. It's really cool. very Super Mario World-esque, but I love the backgrounds. I love the like the forest backgrounds and the stuff they have. Yeah, that's really cool. We need to get that on the Switch.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So have you been playing anything else, Mick?
I probably have. I'm playing Fortnite with the son.
Oh yeah, it's fun, right?
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean,
like,
once you've had a few wins, you've sort of experienced all there is really to offer until you get really into caring about what clothes the character's wearing and what dances they can do.
Oh, like Perry and his battle passes?
I got the battle pass as well, but I got that because it gives my son an XP bonus, so he gets items faster when we play together, due to the fact that I've got the battle pass as well. Mm-hmm. But it's one of the... I don't mind the battle pass on that. I think they should get some money from you playing the game if you're going to spend hours and hours on it. And at least you can then earn enough currency in-game to buy the next battle pass. They don't force you to hand over money every month or however often.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way to do it. Like, reward players for just continuously playing the game. And like you said, it's completely free and it's just good. I mean, it's not like janky or anything. Like, yeah, I think it's sort of crazy that finally I feel like there's like that free-to-play model that's just like works perfectly. Like, there's no like pay to win. You know,
and it's
like
almost
you said, you pay the $10, and if you play enough, that $10 can last you forever.
Yeah, I know, and I feel like those people like Epic Games are like, guys, what if we like? Okay, people are paying $5 for an axe. What if we put $10 for an axe? Let's see if they do that.
And they still
go. Oh my goodness. 1 million people did that. What about 15? It's like you can buy a character, I think, for the equivalent of $20, just a skin.
But you know what? Like Mick said, it's like if you're playing the game for hours and hours on end, it's like a thank you. You know, like, hey, thank you for this game that you're letting us play for free, and I get this
I
pretty
don't think
cool.
I don't think people are buying them because they want to say thank you. I think they
probably want the item, but like I think they could sort of swallow spending $15 on a skin when they didn't have to pay any money to get into the game.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think that's the whole thing. It's like they have swallowed it. You know, it's like no, they have made this new ecosystem or economic system is what I'm trying to say, where it's like the values are so different now. You know, now it's like, wow, the actual value of that premium skin is $20, and I want that. And it's like, forget that you could buy Digger Dan, Miles and Kilo, and Kid Trip, and have money to spare for that kind of money, you know. But then like add that people just want it, you know, and it's crazy. So but the thing is also there's people that you don't need to buy it at all, and I don't think you're really. And you literally are not. There's no practical boost to your gameplay that you're getting from. You know, there's not pay to win at all. So smart. People don't have to pay and buy if they don't want to, and people don't, and a lot of people do. And I think it's unbelievable how they've worked it out. So yeah, that's crazy. Like you buy a battle pass and you get more points back than the battle pass was.
Yeah.
You know, like not only do you pay it back, but like you actually get like 400 or 500 more points. So cool.
Yeah, well, I just renewed my battle pass last week when the new season started, and the first thing it did, it goes, oh, you get a reward if we advance you however many levels. It was like 5 levels, simply because you had the previous battle pass and then you've bought this one. And within those 5 levels, I think it gave me the 100 or 200 of the V-Bucks, and the battle pass itself was like $9.50, is it? Yep. So that essentially chops the price of it down straight away. It's like I don't understand that they're not making me pay every 3 months, but I'm very grateful that they're not.
It's awesome, yeah. And I think because it's like, well, now they're gonna, you can spend these extra points on getting a gear that you want. Hopefully, they hit something that you want to get, which won't happen unless they release a Waluigi hat. For me, but then hopefully they want you to spend those points, and then you'll have to purchase it again when you're so deep into it. You know what I mean? Like I get the drive is so good.
They tease you with some extra points, you know.
Well, they do it so good because it's a win-win for everyone. I mean, it's just like it's a win-win because you don't have to, and if you want to, you know what it is and you can do it. And if you know what I mean, like it's just it works so good, and yeah, very very smart. I'm having a lot of fun with Fortnite, so I really enjoyed and the challenges. I just think that just as itself as a game, it's such a fun little community with your friends to play with and to try to do challenges with, and to it's like no matter what, like usually if you play a game, if you can go for a challenge, you can probably get some part of that challenge done. So even if you die without killing anyone, like just yesterday, we were playing last night, Casey and I were, and I had to kill someone with a burst assault. Well, not kill, I had to do damage against someone. And burst assaults are the worst things ever. But Casey died. I was like, okay, go out in a blaze of glory, And I was like, I found a burst assault, so I'm just going to try to hit someone with it, So I'm running up this tower, and the guy comes down, and right before he shoots me, right in his chest, Didn't kill him. He killed me. But right when I died, I saw my little challenge, and I got just enough to finish my challenge. And it's just like, yes! Booyah! Even though I just died, it's like I still got my challenge. And then that bursts you forward, and then it's really fun. And it's...
And it's a model funny? That I'm pretty sure Fortnite started off as like a completely different game, and then they're like, "Oh, let's add Battle Royale to it," and then all of a sudden it just ate PUBG's lunch.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But I think they've just got everything right in terms of design, like you said. The way they keep refreshing the map, they come up with new modes, limited time items, and the like.
Oh, it's brilliant.
The pricing structure's reasonable. It makes me wonder back to when microtransactions first started in games, if those companies hadn't been quite such greedy scalpers, if they would have had as much success as Fortnite's had, essentially financially, if they just simply hadn't been as greedy.
Well, see, the thing with me, Mick, is like, don't a lot of those companies make tons and tons of money though? Because people spend so much money on like gacha games and stuff. I mean, that's a thing, right? I mean, I know there's a lot of companies that make like millions of dollars off of these.
I guess there probably is, but I mean, Fortnite made $1 billion from one game in a year.
Yeah.
Do they make as much of that? Maybe they do. Maybe I've got it wrong. But
well, I'm just saying it's like I totally agree. I think the thing about Fortnite, the thing about it is it's so accessible. Well, the weird thing is that it's not like control-wise, it is not accessible. It is a very, very complicated game. But it just goes to show you that you like all of these things that people thought mattered in business sense, like a control scheme, a menu system that's easy to navigate, all these things. The only thing that matters is that if it's free and accessible, if it's literally accessible for anyone to play on every platform, and then no pay to win, I think was one of the biggest things to making it. To me, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why it's so successful, is because it's like no matter what, you're in there, it's all fair. And I'm sure there's other, and then obviously the constant updates, like you mentioned. It's so fun to get on a map. It's like, what the heck is this?
Yes.
And, oh my goodness, this turns you into a ghost. Yeah, and I can phase through walls and like, what in the heck? And then like, and then what the heck are these portals in the ground? And you're driving a shopping cart and you run over one and it throws you into the air and you can do a backflip and land. It's like, this is amazing. It's the stuff like that. What is this giant cube just sitting here? And then you go walk up and you kind of touch it and you fly and it's like, it's so much fun. I love that stuff. I really think that's what kind of, and of course it's so highly, it goes so much with playing cooperatively with friends. Like, it's so easy to play with friends, which I think is that's probably the other component of why it works so good, is because it's so accessible to play with anyone in the voice chat, and it's cross-play, and so you get to experience this stuff with one another. So I think there's a lot of synergy going on, with the game. Obviously, I don't think that there is a lot of synergy.
Sounds like you really enjoy Fortnite, Perry.
With the biggest game in the world. I do enjoy it. Is that okay, Casey?
Nope.
Something you saying about the controls reminded me of something from EGX. You're saying how they're sort of accessible, but then you change your mind and said they're not because they're really quite complex. Something I was quite surprised at seeing people play Kid Trip and Miles and Kilo Ejects is how very different the range of abilities people had with how to use a controller. Because Miles and Kilo particularly, there are places where you sort of need to jump with one button, and then you need to attack with when you've got Kilo controlling you with the other button, but keep the jump button held down. So it's something that's just second nature to me. Is pressing.
What was that called? Yeah, you had a term for these controls that change.
The context sensitive controls.
Context sensitive controls. Yeah. Yes, those are so cool.
But for me, it's sort of second nature when I play a game. I'll sort of press the jump button with the middle of my thumb, and then I can use the tip of my thumb to press another button. But there's so many players who just can't do that. And I would sort of expect that that's maybe a particular age group or something. But we found that there were kids who were teens, clearly used to. I mean, so many people would say, "Oh, I'm used to Xbox controls," so I showed them how to flip the control scheme to Xbox sort of layout instead, and they still weren't particularly proficient with using the controller as I would expect. But then we had one lad there who was 9. He basically finished Miles and Kilo on the show floor.
A little professional.
That's awesome.
He was incredible. I ended up posting a video of him completing the last level of Kid Trip as well, because I'd never seen anything like it in my life. I mean, my own son can't finish those 2 games. And he's 12 now. So yeah, I genuinely think this little lad's going to be a star of esports at some point in the future. I sort of seeded the idea with his mum that she should maybe just get him his own YouTube channel and start streaming him playing games, because he's got a talent that's way beyond a lot of kids his age. Right. But yeah, but there obviously there were adults there, there were older people who were proficient with the controls and played the games really well. One of the challenges on Miles and Kilo is to complete the first surfboard level, but without ever using the surfboard. And we had 2 people at the show do that there and then on the spot. But again, there were some adults there who just couldn't get out of the tutorials. It's like they bounce on enemies holding down the sort of jump button so that you bounce higher. And they just couldn't do it. They'd run and jump on the enemy, not bounce over the wall, and then fall on the spikes. And then they'd go and do it again. And then they'd go and do it again. And then again. And it's like, just keep your thumb on the button. And it's like they bounce over the wall. It's like, really? I mean, the words are there on the screen.
But I know, right?
All the directions.
Yeah.
Right.
It was really weird. But I mean, one thing that we're taking away from that is that the multiple control systems for Kid Trip are confusing. And I should have just stuck with one control scheme. And we're going to probably change the build for the other consoles to get rid of the additional control schemes, because there's no point to them. One thing I did find, and this was sort of mentioned in your review as well, actually, Casey, is you saying that the advanced setup, there's no running. You can run with the advanced setup, but it works like Mario with the fireballs. So when you throw a fireball, in Kid's Trip case, when you throw a stone, keep the button held and then you run, because that was what the actual control scheme was in the original game. And it's my own fault. I just wanted it to be a perfect port. I didn't like the idea of changing it and putting in different control schemes, but I also felt that people on console wouldn't understand why it had to be 2 buttons only, and why one button had to do 2 actions. So we put the other control schemes in, but I left the mobile one there for any purists who were fans of the original game and wanted to play it in its original form. And I think in all reality that would have been nobody. So
yeah.
So yeah, it's my own fault. But it was, when I was initially talking to Mike as I started work on it, he was sort of saying, if we have to change a level here or there, or to work on the other platforms, and I was like, no, you've designed this game. I will make it work. It's going 100%. I'm not changing a thing. So yeah,
and you did it.
I did, yeah. But I think I should have just accepted that the old control scheme could just go. So
yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I remember I beat Miles and Kilo, and then I figured out you could switch the controls to auto run.
Yes.
Okay. Pro tip to everyone who's going to download this after listening: turn on auto run. like for me, the way I play, because the cool thing about it is, I mean, I want to S rank every level, right? Now, if you, I mean, the game it's so cool because you can play it like a Mario. You can walk around. I mean, it's just like Adventure Island, right? That's the idea. Is like it's Adventure Island, right? That's what I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah, that's what it was inspired by most.
Inspired by, and I just mean by you're gonna want to hold the forward button the whole time.
Yeah, I never let off that. Like I said, that pretty much if I didn't get an S rank, I was resetting the level anyway. So
there exactly. So it's like you have to. So if you're gonna do that, just put it on auto run, and it's. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so much better. But it's so cool because I think from the get go, it feels cool that you can just run around wherever you want, you know. And then I saw a lot of that from like your videos. Or I saw like people online like posting like the 30-second clips, you know, and they're actually like running around like they're like that guy just ran left. Yeah. What is he doing?
He's not going to get an S that way.
Yeah.
But like you said, I guess it's like it really does have that rhythm game feel when you are trying to get that S because like there is a rhyme and reason like in a way to get that S, you know. So it's I don't know it like I said those games it just feels so good. And I always just need to, and it's same with sort of Jules's games. It's just like I'm certainly not a completionist by any standard, you know, when I come to play my games. But like these games, for some reason, it's just like I need to get that perfect score, and it's not frustrating in a way where it's like, oh, it took me 35 minutes to beat one level with a perfect score. It's just like, you know, it's like every time I play it, I'm like, okay, I see where I made the mistake. I could get a little further and get a little better, and then I can get that perfect score. And, you know, maybe it takes 5-10 minutes for a level, you know. Maybe it takes 1 or 2 tries, you know. But I don't know. It's got that really good feel to it.
Oh, it's so good. And, yeah, I think that's a total perfect point to end on is that Miles and Kilo and Kid Trip, but since Miles and Kilo is the most recent one, yes, it has that perfect. You gotta if you don't S rank it, you're a baby type. Just kidding.
Get good.
Totally kidding. Get good. No, it's so, and I think one of the best feelings, right, is when you're working. It's like you can feel your skill getting better on a level, and you work and you hit your head against the level for 20 minutes, and then the next level,
you just
beat it.
Yeah, one try.
First try, get everything S rank. It's like, oh yeah, and it's like the best feeling ever. And yeah, so, Mick, I want to thank you so much for coming onto our show again.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, no problem.
I'm glad I was able to catch
Thanks
this
for having
time.
me here. Yeah, I'm glad you're here as well.
Yeah, I know.
It must have been terrible to just be on with Perry.
Oh.
Although, did David come on? Was that one of the...
He had a substitute.
Alex came on.
Oh, Alex
okay. Kalafi came on. Yeah.
But no, it's just because I've been listening to your podcast now, it's sort of... I'm obviously a lot more familiar with you, so getting to talk to the two of you now, it's good.
Yeah, and I've played more of your games now, so it's same ditto.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna bust out the old 3DS and get Digger Dan. That's the only game I haven't played. So
totally
cool.
And it's only
it's on sale right now.
It is on sale right now. That's a good point. In fact, when's this going out? It's Thursday, isn't it?
Yep. It'll be Thursday the 11th.
Bad luck, people in North America. The sale's just finished in your region because there's limits to how long it can be on. But the sale's still on in Europe, so for another week. So all 4 Horses games 25% off on all Nintendo platforms.
But don't wait for a sale, people. Just go buy the dang games. This is the livelihood. Okay, Mick has kids. He has a family. He needs money. So buy the games.
This is all true. And they're not expensive.
And you're going to have a very fun time playing them because, well, I guess I can't speak for Digger Dan just yet, which I just purchased it. But Miles and Kilo and Kid Trip are both, honestly, even if Mick wasn't here, you've all heard it before. They're really great games. So definitely worth checking out. My favorite was
when the lost audio episode a few episodes back.
Yeah.
when I lost my audio, but so we re-recorded with Justin, so I had Casey's audio, and I would just intersperse his audio into random parts, And Casey just randomly, yeah, Miles and Kilo, that's a great game. If a great budget game if you want to get, just out of nowhere.
Everyone was so confused by that.
I too was one of those people. I tweeted you, didn't I, Perry, saying that really sounded like you just inserted random clips.
It was so good. It worked out so much better than I possibly.
Good old Jerry Jerkin.
And I love when like people were like Casey like was legitimately mad at Casey because they thought he was being a jerk.
Yeah, one guy was he was really dang.
yeah, that's so funny. Anyway, I shouldn't. I mean, I'm very glad that happened because I wanted it to sound.
I figured you would have some point have been at the end and been like, haha, we lost the audio, but you just let it roll.
Nope, no way, man. It was so good how it happened. Like, what the heck happened? It was a publicity stunt, if you will.
Something like that.
But so I think that was really funny. But yes, everyone. So we got Kid Trip on the 3DS on the Switch. You got Miles and Kilo on the Switch. And you got Digger Dan DX, right? DX?
Yep.
Yeah, DX. That's the Switch version. I think the DSi.
You can't buy.
I think the DSiWare version still is actually available on the 3DS eShop.
On the 3DS. That's
true.
But
don't buy that. I don't get any money for that one anymore.
Oh, okay, don't buy that one.
Nope, go buy the DX version.
Go buy DX from Four Horses.
Like I said, $1.99.
It's cheaper, actually.
Boom, boom.
$1.99, everyone. It's so simple and easy. But anyway, Mick, you're such a nice guy. I'm glad to have you on. And we'll have you on again when your next game comes out and whatnot.
Yes. Or if you ever just want to come talk and hang out, just let us know.
Yeah, it'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Or we should play some Fortnite.
Yeah, we probably should. I'll get my ID to you so you can add me to your friend list.
Perfect. Awesome. Heck yeah. All right. Well,
cool.
Casey, I don't know where this is going to be in the episode. Is this going to be the end?
I don't know. We'll take a quick little breather because we could do the outro crap anyway. So
that sounds good. All right. So goodbye, Mick.
See you later, Mick. Thanks
bye.
Again.
Well, it's always good having Mick on. He is just how can you not love him? He's just the nicest guy.
Yes, I'm glad I got to partake this time. Of course, last time was I think it was on a stinking Saturday where I had work or something.
Well, yeah. Well, you were gonna, and then you had to go in. So Alex Kulafi, the good old guy, came in and filled in for you.
I got Jimmy John's yesterday for lunch, and every time I get Jimmy John's, I just think of Alex.
Alex Kulafi. That's a nice thought. I love Alex Kulafi.
And I love Jimmy John's. And so
I love Jimmy John's.
Yeah, it works out well. They're both very nice.
Totally. Absolutely. But yeah. So we're going to round off the show, this extra long show, with a Craigslist Roundup. Got a quickie, but a goodie this week. If you're always skimming like I am, then you will find.
Skimming.
Yeah.
He's
then
scamming.
sometimes you will find. Sometimes you'll find stuff that seems like a scam, like this one. But you just got to play your cards straight, act cool. And
cool as a cucumber.
But someone was selling a Switch and Zelda. They said just a picture of the Switch. That's all. No dock though. No dock. But
no dock.
Funnily enough, this is so funny. They said I got rid of the dock because I heard of the issues of it happening to the Switch.
Oh, like bending it or whatever.
Yes, and then funnily enough, he had a third-party adapter charging the Switch. It's like, I think you got that a little wrong. Anyway, perfect condition has a nice one of those nice glass covers, nice tempered glass screens. That and Zelda, I went to pick it up and I was like, I didn't know if Zelda was digital or not. Like you never know. Like he didn't have it in the pictures. I didn't ask him, but he gave it. He's like, yeah, I have Zelda on the cartridge. But he just handed me. I was like, heck yeah. And I was like, do you have the case? Because it's like, what in the world do these people do? Where they throw away those cases?
Yeah, you monsters.
And he's like, oh no, I do have it. He's like, I forgot, and so he ran in and got it. So I'm really glad I asked. So I got the case and the cartridge and the Switch. Now, how much did you think I paid for it?
Well, I already know.
I know, but you're supposed to ham it up and act like you don't.
Well, I'll go with my original guess. My original guess was $120.
Woo! That is awful close, actually. I got it for $100. And props to David Lloyd, who guessed it on the dollar.
Somebody's
and he's Canadian.
A robber. He might have been guessing 100 Canadian dollars.
That's true.
And I can tell you,
that's not 100 American.
That's only $77.32 American. So now I'm closer. Really?
Now hold on. If you were guessing, let's say
I guessed 120. So he's
120 Canadian.
268 away. So I was closer. Your champions, Casey.
David, you stink. Okay.
David Lloyd's a loser.
But just kidding. Yeah, so $100, and so I have a third Switch.
Well, we were just joking the other
when you
week.
Need it.
Yeah, Mr. 3 Switch.
Mr. 3 Switch.
And now,
yeah, we were, weren't we?
Yeah, and now this Jimmy's got 3.
That? Now I got 3, so I'm gonna sell it.
I bet you could probably. Easy. I wonder. I mean, you could probably you could sell it, but like I wonder how much if you were to bring that to GameStop, what they would give you for that. It'd probably be over $100.
Yeah.
Although maybe not without the dock, it might be a little less.
Right.
But anyway,
and I'm gonna
that's
sell
crazy, man.
Crazy, yeah. Totally. So, anyway, that'll do it for my
place to be.
Craigslist Roundup. It is the place to be. Now, that does it for our show. But guess what? We still have one more thing because we're doing a giveaway. Play the Mario Party music. So, because in honor of having Mick on the show, we're huge fans of Kid Trip. We're huge fans of Miles and Kilo. We're giving away 2 codes.
Yes, sir.
For the game. So go to our Twitter and pass around, retweet the stuff. And what do we want them to do to respond in this case? I know we haven't talked about this yet. Let's have them
on air brainstorming. We could say,
their favorite name for a dog.
Well, I was gonna say we could just say, what game are you most excited about for the remainder of 2018? That could be a big old AAA title like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That could be a nice little indie game like Guacamelee 2. You know what I mean? It could be anything.
That was very good, yeah. Yeah, okay. And then for people who are listening who want to be cool, your favorite name for a dog.
Yeah, either or. Either tell us your most anticipated game or just give us a good old dog name.
I got it.
Either or, yeah. People are gonna like look at the retweets and be like, "Oh, I can't wait for Super Smash Brothers." Rover. Good times.
Yes,
but of course, that information will be on our Twitter, and you can find us on Twitter at Talk Nintendo Pod. That is Talk Nintendo
POD.
Yes, sir. And of course, make sure to check out Nintendo World Report TV on YouTube. You can check out our Let's Play along with Caitlin and Jill of Super Mario Party online, as well as reviews and all sorts of. We got tons of gameplay of Super Mario Party up there too. But yeah, of course, people from the site are doing reviews all the time, so it's a good place to keep up with all the Nintendo goodness. But of course. I think that's going to bring us to the end of this, like you said, very long episode by this point. But,
yes, monstrous.
But it's always a goodie.
Also, yeah, it is. I love hanging out with you, Case. I love you.
I love you, Buck. Oh.
Manager?
It's cats and they drink Pepsi as well.
Oh
no, they don't.
I'm buying this game.
I'm just winding you up.
No. Oh, we're not being honest? Then I love stealth games and adventure games and Metroidvanias and Perry.
What a rubbish system.
Rise and shine and give God your glory, glory.
Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning.
Get up, Perry, you turd!
That's right. Sometimes left off maps.
Phone controls stink.
Hot gimmick cosplays, Jong.
That was a Thanksgiving dinner.
You slurping up what I'm spitting out?
You're disgusting.
So a bus will drive the same speed as a banana. We've done the science on that.